GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, party.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is, of course, David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode 302 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
No filter, just GG!
Nice. What happened to your pop filter? What the hell? What's going on with this?
I don't know. We
had
had
some
two,
rinky-dink,
actually.
operation here, sir. We gotta have.
I realized I have to get away from the mic whenever I yell because otherwise it will cause a health issue for a lot of our listeners.
Well, we do have an explicit warning on our podcast, so it'll be all right.
Explicit not for ear sensitive. We lost all our ear sensitive people. Actually, I don't think anybody listen to us anymore because they can't.
You're right. We have to switch to video podcasting. You're right.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's not a bad idea. It beats my idea of Braille podcast. That would suck. I don't know how to do Braille or write it.
I don't know how to do that. Yeah. How would you even send it? You have to send it to something that you can. Ooh, I just got an image of some sort of like you put your hand on something. It has like that moving.
It'll be Morse code. It'll be Morse code. The podcast will be like.
Oh my god! Too many beeps, and then you're really just finishing a sentence. That's. I don't know if that's gonna work.
How do you say GG in Morse code?
Well done, sir. Well done. Sir, I want to, before we get into the show, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. First and foremost, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us for the Super Bowl. That's right. You and Mrs. Santos came by.
We got a Super Bowl extravaganza.
Yes,
congratulations to the Miami Dolphins. Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's
the
right.
New England Denver Nuggets. Yes. Congratulations
to the Rams, sir, even though we were going for the other team. But it is what it is.
Congratulations to GoDaddy for winning yet another year of commercial.
Dude, the commercials were garbage, bro. They were absolutely garbage.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Not a one that there was one that I think even my dad mentioned. He was talking about the one with Scarlett Johansson, but we had already seen it like 2 days before, and it was supposed to air in the during the Super Bowl. And when it does, it's like the short version. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, yeah, we're not going to pay that much for this commercial. So
just watch the long version on YouTube where you can catch it for free.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just do that, dude. We haven't had a good commercial. You know what the last good Super Bowl commercial was? And I always saying it was the Old Spice commercial.
The Old Spice, yes, you have mentioned.
Yes. The one with I'm on a horse.
Those commercials ended up getting played out though because they started making like a bunch of variations of it, and
the variations
being
were
funny. Yeah,
no, exactly. But the original was spectacular.
Oh, the very first one, absolutely.
It's two tickets for that thing that you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond.
It is ridiculous.
God, I love guys. Just you. I mean, anybody and everybody knows about this already. But if you don't, just YouTube it. It is. That commercial is hilarious.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but we didn't have anything decent. You know what? We didn't. I'm sorry, bro.
We had a good game though. I'll say that much. It was an exciting game.
It was an exciting game. I was in part. I was gonna end with the game, but I didn't care that much about the halftime.
Yeah, me either. And I don't know if it was overhyped. You know, I feel like everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's going to be the most craziest halftime thing, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll see." And then It was
It
high.
wasn't. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
DR. I mean, you got Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. You got 50 Cent. You got
also known as Buck 25, but yeah,
25 now. No, actually, I feel bad. People have been fat shaming him on the internet so badly
they
lately.
have.
It's like
Yeah, but
you
the
guys don't
internet's the
remember
internet,
that he
bro.
used to be buff as fuck. I mean, he still is. He's just bigger. And who cares? We had we had a freaking pandemic. We couldn't go anywhere. So at some point, the guy's rich. All
This is
right,
true.
so he's
Yeah,
gotta
yeah, he's
live his
got plenty
life.
of money. He don't give a shit about that.
Guy don't have 50 cents. Only his name. He carries more than that. So, but yeah, it was, even, they didn't have Eminem. It like the music was good. It was just the spectacle was not there at all.
I agree.
And I don't know. It kind of left me like it didn't feel like a proper Super Bowl when it came to that part. Now, the game was phenomenal. The game, I thought I was gonna be there. Like I didn't care much about either team winning, but at the end, I guess we were all agreeing that hey, we
The underdog. The underdog's always a fun story to go with.
yeah, exactly. And then come to find out that the Rams take it at the very end.
Yeah,
We have
but they.
one
They
person
should have.
cheering on our group for them, and like, okay, great.
Yeah,
Have
it's
your
always
moment.
like that, sir. It's always like that. If it was as Patriots, we would have Gomez here, and it would have been he would be the one Patriot fan in the room. And then when they win, he'd be the one Patriot fan freaking gloating over the win. And then we'd hate him for the next 7 months until the season starts over again. You know what I mean? I kid.
just glad that I have my
We hate him.
friends back.
We hate him the year long, not really 7 months.
Oh,
It's usually
exactly. Yes. We hate him just for liking the Patriots.
just for liking the Patriots, yes, and actually wearing Patriots gear. But no, I agree. I think it was a really exciting one, and it really came down to the wire. And not for nothing, but that the other team was stacked. They really should have came in and just wiped the floor with them. So, and they didn't. So that really, I don't know. That says more about the underdogs, or if it says less about the champions. But in the end,
a good fight. Give him a good fight.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Yeah, man, good stuff. That was one thing I wanted to kind of touch base on because obviously that was a major happening in the world.
By the way, I ate leftovers, Super Bowl leftovers for like 3 days straight. No shame. It was awesome.
Those meatballs were good, right? Those meatballs were good.
I love that you actually have proper to go containers. I'm like looking at them. It's like, am I supposed to return these? Like, no, this looks like this looks like what they will give you at like a fancy restaurant to go. Like this awesome.
So fun facts are those are actually from the Chinese food spot. We when we ordered, we haven't ordered Chinese food in a while actually, but we used to order Chinese food pretty regularly, and we'd always get a soup. They came with it, and that's what comes in. That container is what the soup comes in. Before you know, we had like a lovely set of 45. So I was like, oh man, we either need to stop ordering soup or stop keeping the container.
Just using them for that was the perfect use. I mean, I tried to clean them up. Well, I didn't try to. My dishwasher tried to clean it up, but because you put meatballs on them, like it couldn't get the sauce completely, so you had that coloring,
the little tinge, yeah,
that little tinge. I was at that point. It's like, okay, these are not.
I
guess they're not proper reusable. Like this. So
yeah. At that point, just chuck them. Yeah, I mean that's what I got. That's so many of them. It was like once they run out of use, and you can tell like, ooh, the lid is even closing completely. It's like, all right, it's time to let you go.
I appreciate you doing your part for the environment and recycling.
For the record, sir, I'll have you know that I put that into the recycling container probably a third of the time. The rest of the time, well, yeah, the environment is just probably not going to like it.
I'm surprised that you admit that you have a recycling container, because when I asked you where do I throw this water bottle, you were like, oh, just throw it there in the trash. So it's like a freaking Neanderthal. I'm gonna just throw it in the
Yes,
trash.
right in the whole deal was, and whenever I have kind of a party like this, it's like,
Uh,
dude, things add up. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
yeah.
and I'm just like, no, I don't care. Today we're not recycling. I'm sorry, Earth, but you know what I mean? I didn't create this. So that's all I can hang my hat. I did not create the plastic and the waste that's happening. I simply used it for its purpose, and now I'm getting rid of it. And yes, it'll
That
go into a landfill somewhere and probably kill birds and some other ecological
or
system, but
humans,
or
or
humans,
create
yes.
global warming, or destroy the land of our children. But by that time, I'll be dead. So who gives?
Exactly, exactly. It's their it's future,
It's a problem.
it's Nick's problem. It's Nick's problem. I feel bad,
Exactly.
Nick. I'm so sorry, Nick.
They would have
Julian, my
developed
bad. Yeah.
the technology to address that by then. The
Mhm.
fusion reactor that works on trash. I
Exactly.
saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All it does is create this big container and then shoots it out into space, and then hey, problem solved.
There you
You
go.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
Space is infinite. It'll be fine.
That's what we should be doing. We should be literally just making, like, imagine a huge t-shirt cannon, but instead of just firing t-shirts, we're like throwing trash
The
to
space.
space. The other
You throw it
problem
at
is
the
that
sun. It'll just
it's just
incinerate.
you will think, but it's gonna get. I'm pretty sure science is gonna do its thing, and there are gonna be forces involved that it's gonna end up having a like floating, orbiting the planet at the end.
Oh
And we
yeah.
already have enough trash orbiting the
Apparently
planet
we do.
as
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. One of the topics, sir, before we move into the show, I wanted to brush on, and it's a little. I'm going to call this not a new segment, but I want to mention it up front because we're not
Mhm.
really going to do a lot of news anymore. But this particular one, anyway, the segment we're going to call is news from the group, and of
News
course,
from
we're
the
referring
group.
to Gigi's Facebook group, and there was an
Oh,
interesting post that I believe you made regarding how to secure the new for Horizon Forbidden West for just
oh.
$60, not the full $70. And um,
If you're interested in the PS5 version, if you need the PS5 version,
correct, yeah.
right, right, right,
And
right,
it was met with some
right.
interesting comments that I wasn't really sure. I was just like, so what are we doing? What are we like?
Oops,
Fighting
sorry.
for PlayStation here or Sony? I'm not entirely sure where the angle was, and no
It was meant.
offense if you're a listener, I was really just curious because I was just like I don't know why is this a problem? You don't know, so why would you not want to do this? I don't understand. So for the record, I guess a little backstory. You are able to secure a copy of the PlayStation 4, if you're able to secure a PlayStation 4 version, you get the PlayStation 5 version for free, the upgrade.
Mhm.
Or if you just pay for the PlayStation 5 version, then you end up paying $10 more. So you want to pay $10 more, or do you want to pay $10 less and just have the same thing?
And have
Uh,
literally the same thing. Actually, have both versions, even
yeah.
though
On top of that, yeah, you get
you
two
won't
versions.
play
How about
the
that?
PlayStation 4 version necessarily. So that's why I never use the argument of, well, you're getting more, because no, technically you're getting what you want, what you're interested, which is the PS5 version of the game for $59.99 instead of paying $69.99 for the PlayStation 5 version uh, by itself.
Mhm.
And well, of course, we're limiting this to the standard edition. Obviously, there is a digital deluxe that costs $80. And
Oh
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
pay
yeah.
$80 for it, it's good. You paid it because you saw value on the things that it included. Like it included, I believe, a soundtrack, or the digital soundtrack, which I believe you can only play on the console. I don't know how that
Yeah, that's
usually
my
works
only
whenever
issue
I
with
get
it.
it.
I'm like, I can't move it out of the
It's
console.
not
I
like
don't want that shit anymore. Yeah.
I wonder if you could, but I don't know. Digital comic book, and it has some in-game items. So there's, I'm not saying the problem here was never, oh, don't buy the expensive version. Oh, don't buy the collector's edition. Don't the issue was not that, ever. The issue was, hey, you have you have Sony offering you both versions of the exact same game, but letting you choose to pay $10 more or less. Why would you go for the expensive? Like why would you go for the expensive option? And then the argument was something along the lines where it's like, well, you want to support the developers, and I get that. I get that is a legitimate thing, and that you could if you love what a company is doing, then yeah, if you want to that's usually where you actually go for the collector's edition of the item.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that
That's what that was
you
there
can
for. Yeah.
get a little bit in return. Plus, you're actually, because that's not costing them much extra to put some digital items, and yet you're giving them $20. But making the argument of paying $10 more just because of nothing seems like, well, if you're a fan, if you're so much of a fan that you want to give him extra money, that's fine. But then don't go around calling the people that don't do that cheapskates or scammers, because that's not what's happening here at all. What's happening is that you love the product so much, you decided to spend more money on it, and that's fine. We're not here to tell you how you spend your money. I like the product also, but I'm also conscious with the way I spend money, because the more money I the more money I have in my pocket, the more money that I will have to spend on the next game that comes out.
Mhm.
And we have a few big ones that have come out this month alone. So and $10 might not be a big deal for you, but it is,
It can be a
again,
big
given
deal
the
for a lot of
option,
folks. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
given the option of paying, you're not getting anything extra. You're getting the exact same item. If I decide to go for the lesser one, that doesn't make me a scammer. I'm not taking advantage of Sony, because this was not an exploit. This is not something that that I should be honor bound by. Well, I own a PS5, so ergo
Clearly, I
I
should
need to
pay
buy
the $10 more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Good for you. If you want to believe that, that's okay. Again, we're not telling you how to spend money, but if the option is there to get the version at a lower cost, and you report on it so that people could take advantage of it and get a really great game, at a more affordable price, there's nothing wrong with that. So I guess that's where the part where things got skewed.
Well, I have a different angle and a different take on it, if you will.
Really? All
Yes,
right. Well, that'll be
because
very interesting.
I do believe that there are scammers involved, and that people are
Oh.
taking advantage. And it's not us; it's
Oh.
Sony. Because the reality is, you can only
Wow.
do that purchase on certain options. If you were to try to access the PlayStation 5 version of it, it only shows you the $69.99 version.
Oh,
If you do,
really?
yes, if you do it from the app, then you can it'll default to that because it knows you have a PlayStation 5, but you can switch it also. So yeah, there are
Oh, I did not know
scammers,
that.
but it is not us. It's Sony. Okay, and this is coming from someone who will go to bat, for the well, go to bat in the sense that this is the ecosystem that I particularly play in. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
This is the one I
This is a
support.
camp
If you, yeah, exactly. But that's only because that makes me to me personally, I feel like that makes me a stakeholder with the product, but I am not a stockholder in the company. So I'm not going to defend a company for doing dumbass moves, and this was a dumbass move. because it wasn't, hey, you got an option to this, because they weren't fucking announcing that shit.
No,
And anyone
nobody.
who has a PlayStation 5 only and they go to grab Horizon Zero Dawn and don't even realize that they can get the cheaper version because, hey, maybe don't follow IGN or GG, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're getting scammed. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's a big
forgiving
point.
anything here for sure. This is a BS thing and they know it. You know, don't act like Sony doesn't know it because they sure as hell fucking. I'm sure they've known this for a while
Mhm.
because they already made those plans. Like the plans
Mhm.
came out, they were announced and everything, and even then they were like, but wait, why would we even bother with the $69.99 version if we could just do the other one? And so of course people thought, oh, they'll probably fix that. Here it is released and it's
Mhm.
still the same way. And they probably left that way because that's just how it was announced.
Well, they already said that. They already said that that coming, that the next games where it has cross
Cross platform?
generation. Well, not cross platform,
Oh,
cross
cross
generation.
generation. Yeah, yeah.
Cross gen. The X the they will charge you for upgrading your PS4
Yeah,
version to the PS5, which it sucks, but it's understandable. It's shitty, because
I agree.
Microsoft's not doing that. But then again, their strategy is completely different.
Hmm.
And who is to say that it's actually uh uh the best one for their pockets? But I don't care about their pockets. I don't care about the pockets of the I don't care about the pockets of the multi-million-dollar corporations. I care about
Exactly.
my pocket. So,
Exactly. Yeah. And I
uh,
care about my pocket even more when it's it is clearly on purpose that you
mhm,
are not showing the availability of the PlayStation 4 version if you're on the PlayStation 5 browsing the store.
yeah,
So that's obviously on purpose, and that's bullshit. So
yeah.
if you
That
want
just
to
makes me.
defend that, hey, more power to you. But
Mhm.
no, the
Yeah,
scammers here are not the gamers.
if
you
you
know,
want to give him more money, then hey, there is nothing wrong.
yeah, yeah,
We're
that's
not
true. Yeah,
accusing you of anything. Just um, not everybody feels that strongly when it comes to I don't know, platform favoritism or
oh,
whatever.
you mean fanboyism? Yeah, I got you.
Well,
I got you.
I you gotta be careful with the problem with fanboyism in general. Is that it tends to blind you from the things that could potentially affect you. Like it's like being in a relationship where you just want this person so much that you do not want to be
See his
objective
faults. Yeah, you
and
don't see the
and
faults.
exactly and realize that person has faults, and you never know if those faults might be could be a deal breaker in the future. But you're madly in love and you think that you can, like, oh well, it doesn't matter. In my case, I believe more in the balance of the ecosystem in general. I don't wish for any companies to be too ahead. I could be celebrating the fact that, hey, PlayStation is fucking killing it right now. They have incredible titles, and it is my platform of choice, because it is right now. It's my platform of choice for gaming. If I don't count PC, if I only count the consoles. uh I don't own an Xbox. I have no reason to own an Xbox right now because they haven't given me any reason to do so. um Now, I don't want this to become a situation where it's just so far ahead that suddenly they don't have a competitor, because you guys remember this, and you guys have seen tinges of this, like, showing up late, here and there. I want to say lately, but it appears like they have backtracked on that a little bit. But when Sony gets what's the word?
Inflated heads.
Yeah. When when they get on their high horse and it's suddenly they're untouchable, that's when you get the worst of them. You got the worst policies, and moves, and for the games, the game quality suffers. Um, and let's not, and we have seen this from both grounds, going as far as back as probably $599 is the one that comes to mind, but actually before that, and Xbox was the same. Just look at TV.
Mm.
That was them trying to flex their muscle and their power, and thinking like, oh, it's all about
The entertainment, the living
engine.
room. Yeah.
Well, yeah, owning the living room, and we're gonna own your TV and TV, and whether you like it or not, and our console is gonna be connected online to the internet because you want to play Xbox. Hashtag deal with it. Oh, you don't have the internet? Oh, well, we have a solution for you. It's called the Xbox 360. You can stay on the previous generation platform, you fucking plebe.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say I love, I don't mean I love it because it was an awesome response. Though it was an awesome response, but not in the way that I don't know how to explain it. It's just the absolute bold, insane choice to say that to Jeff Keighley, who almost immediately, you can see in his face, he was like, wow, bro,
this is not
you
gonna
really
come
fucked
out
up,
good.
didn't you?
That's
what I
right.
mean? Yeah,
That's right.
that was
It's
such a good moment.
That's not
good.
good.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is, fuck him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's literally that is the phase. That is the phase of the corporation. At the end of the day, Sony is not for the players, and Microsoft is not for whatever is it that their slogan.
The play anywhere. The play anywhere, do anything.
Not, you're not jumping in or anything like that. Sony is for the stockholders, and so is Microsoft. So all these moves that they're gonna do, they're like they don't love you. They're not the companies that love you. Just they don't owe you anything.
Exactly.
You can choose to. Like for example, in your case, you have a platform of choice. I have a platform of choice, and that's good and well. But I'm not gonna just tolerate the bullshit moves when they happen, when they do. And
no, I agree. Like I said, and I'm gonna call them out when bullshit like that is, and I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of PlayStation 5 owners not even realizing that they are overpaying for something they can get, for less, that many people will get for less. So I agree, sir. I agree.
That was fun.
That was fun. All right. Yeah. 33 minutes into the show, and we're going to start now.
We haven't even told you what we've been doing.
Yeah. Well, first off, before we get into all that, once again, please, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. It takes you right to our Facebook group. The one in question, that maybe we'll have another segment like that down the road. Anyway. And of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is go into what we have been up to, move on into perhaps a couple news items, and then we finish, of course, with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: Ghostbusters Afterlife retrospective and review. Yes, Ghostbusters. I feel like we are going to tread some familiar territory from a 2016 debacle that we may have had at some point.
We had a topic dedicated to 2016's Ghostbusters.
We sure did. Sure did.
And it was just it was fair, and I thought it was a great idea to revisit this one. This movie almost like came and went, and honestly, I didn't even realize until almost until you told me, hey, it's on Prime for night for five. I think it was like $5 or
Yeah,
$6, whatever it was.
$5.99 or something.
Um, and I thought this was a movie that would still have been on the theaters. Um, but yeah, it didn't have the fanfare almost
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
reason.
it
It didn't
definitely
feel like
did. Like come out like I tend to every so often I tend to, and if you hear a dog, I'm sorry, this is an annoying dog that's next door that I'm probably going to have to take out at some point. Um,
oh no, don't
the
do that.
hey, I did that all the time in
Oh
that game.
no,
No, but
Peter's gonna be behind your ass. No, go ahead.
the no, but you know, I tend to frequent Prime and look to see what new movies are coming soon because sometimes they have this early access thing. It'll be like
Mm.
$20, and that one popped up too. It's like $20 to rent it now. It's like holy crap! Wait, when did this come out? And I didn't even realize it had just recently come out in the theater. So I'm like, damn, you know, just kind of came in, went out of nowhere, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
To be fair, I think it was around the time that Spider-Man was out also, and everybody was watching Spider-Man. So that might
maybe,
have been it.
maybe, yeah, that was towards the end of 2021, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go into that, and of course, our a little bit of a retrospective when it comes to just the Ghostbusters franchise in general, and see how how we feel about it, where you think it's going, and probably a little bit more.
And do we
Uh,
believe in ghosts?
and do we believe in ghosts? Yes.
Exactly.
And we all agree that if there's a steady paycheck involved, I will believe anything you need.
Nice.
Nah, yes. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on with the show, sir. Well, with what we have been up to, sir. What have you, of all people in this world, been doing, sir?
the one and only game that I've actually feel like I've positively been playing this week, and I wanted to talk. I wanted to mention, or I wanted to try and be able to talk about Cyberpunk, but the fact was that I am just like lost in this game.
Oh,
And of course, I'm talking about Lost Ark,
oh, snap!
the free to play Diablo esque MMO that came out last week.
So many words that you just said. I'm just going, nope.
Nope.
Free to play
No.
Diablo
Free to
S
play
MMO.
Diablo-esque
And I'm just like,
MMO.
wow, that's
This is
like
the anti Martin.
yeah.
Basically. And it's such a shame too because every time I'm playing, when I'm playing and I'm looking at things that are happening, and I'm like, oh, I should take a photo or a screenshot and send it to my. Oh, that's right, Mad Dog's not gonna give a shit about
You
this
can
at
still
all.
send it, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna just be like, "This is crap. I don't even know what this is." I'll still be
But
like, "Well, that was cool. That was cool."
but I spoke last week about it. Last week I just barely scraped the surface of it. Only played probably like an hour and a half just to kind of test it out. And I was talking about how what a positive first impression it gives you
Mm.
when you put it. Well, I am about 25 hours in, and I just
25. Damn, bro. Okay, okay.
oh yes, I have been feeling in this. I think Jason has like 57 hours or some shit like that. It's like
Pariello?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
he's in it. Shadow, I believe she's playing also. We haven't played together just yet,
That's
but
just sad, bro. That is just
I
it's
know,
like
and
all of it was playing, but no, we're in an
we're on the same
MMO,
server
mind
also, I
you.
believe, or
Oh my god.
at least Jason and I are on the same server. You just happen to stumble upon it, but no. What can I say about Lost Ark that you guys might have already known about? You guys heard me describe it as a Diablo-esque game because it actually plays from that top perspective. I told you last week how you can actually the detail on that game is so good that you can zoom in completely into your character, and you almost think that you can make it into a third person game, but then it's still moving on that isometric plane, so the movement becomes very awkward where when you're
Mm.
up close. I think that zooming is just meant to be for like, hey, look at my character, how cool it looks, because they actually managed to make the characters look fucking
You
awesome.
did show me some images, and I was just like, oh, that actually is some good detail there. Yeah.
And I was talking about the polish of this game, and I, I, I guess I guess I have to expect it because this is not a new game by any means. It's a new game here in this region, but this game has been out since 2019 in South Asia, and it has been very very famous and well received over there. So they have been expanding and adding new stuff, and what we're getting is like it almost makes me think like, dude, I can't believe this is free. So much so that I have literally been looking for there is something that could be here, and this goes into the conversation the conversation I was having at the beginning where uh I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but you love something so much that you're like you want to you want to spend money.
Spend money. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And the only
You want to
difference is that
support.
I
Yeah.
am actually getting something back here.
Hmm.
So I was looking into like what can I, what is the trap of the free to play portion of this? Like where is it? Because I remember Genshin Impact making a very good first impression, but then like fairly quick it got to the point where you can start seeing that wall, and that wall was gonna maybe not require you, but certainly make it more enticing to spend money. Um, Here's so far I haven't seen anything like that. The most I have, because there's no power ups, there's no pay to win, or character boosters or anything like that. What exists is an item of convenience that allows you to travel to fast travel for free,
Okay.
because the fast traveling. Oh, my wife just brought me coffee. Thank you, babe. Appreciate
Nice.
that. Oh, that's so good. Coffee. I haven't had coffee in days. I mentioned that I also had a medical procedure this morning and had me loopy, and I couldn't drink coffee. And yeah, now I'm having coffee.
Nice.
Anyway, so this particular item, well, one thing it does is that it makes the fast traveling the fast travel from any location free. I don't know how much of a wall it is to if
I
you
was gonna
don't have
ask. I
it.
was like, how do you
So
have
they
it? Did
give
you
me
pay for it?
item. No, they gave me like a trial. Like they gave me a couple of trials for that item. So it's almost like check out what this does, so that you get used to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So
the
that when
YouTube
you don't
thing. Yeah, I
have
got
it,
you.
you will miss it. So it's very smart.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
another thing that it does is so you have a pet companion with you, and also the store will allow you to buy other types of pets and like skins and stuff like that. But you have a pet companion that it also boosts your stats in several aspects of your stats. But if you have that I'm gonna call it the benediction, because it's almost like something like that. It's like the wings of whatever. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it is the item that lets you fast travel for free. It also allows it so that your pet will pick up any items that drop when you're fighting, and you know that when you're fighting there's a bunch of loot that drops all the time. And it's not like it's a pain in the ass to just go in and pick them up one by one. It's just, if you don't have to do it, if your pet automatically does it for you, it's kind of nice. I know it is the stupidest thing, but it goes to
It's
show it's
so
like
they're offering you convenience, and you're like,
they're
yeah, I can
sending
use
you
that.
convenience, exactly, and they trap you like Amazon, obviously, in the publish. Well, the publisher is that. Well, the publisher here is Amazon. The developers, I think you said it was like Smilegate or something like that. um the it's very smart because they offer you, hey, here's 3 days of the, or 5 days. So they gave me actually 8 days. They gave me one for 3 days, for 5 days. They gave me one for 3 days. Kind of like to ease me out of it so that I will miss it when I don't have it. So it's like, here it is. You could you could play with this, with this convenience items, and then up to a certain amount of times. And then if you need more, well, here, you can buy different tiers of it, like that lasts you, I don't know, 3 days, 5 days, 30 days. It's almost like if you're buying the 30-day one, you're buying a subscription at
Basically,
that point.
yeah.
It's basically you're
What is
paying
it, 15
for that
bucks?
month.
Yeah,
Probably.
okay.
If I had to guess.
I know.
Like I wouldn't put it past it. And you know what? For how amazing the experience have been, for me, this is not gonna convert you. I'm not saying that because you're not into those type of games. But if you are into the type of Diablo games or stuff like that, I'm not so much into the MMO portion of it, but it's not bad that it is there, because in some dungeons it allows me to match make real quick, and the game doesn't rely so much into in the the Holy Trinity, basically the healer. What's the Holy Trinity? The healer, the DPS, and the tank.
And the tank, yeah.
Like it doesn't rely that on 100%. Obviously my character is a little. It has supporting
Features?
skills
Mhm.
that will help, certainly, but I don't have to worry about healing people like like specifically, at least not that I have noticed in the first few dungeons that I have ran with people. And the dungeons are not the type, or they haven't been hard enough to where it requires communication. I tell you, they have been varied. And that it has been impressive. And what I mean by varied, I mean in the sense of the locations look wildly different, and sometimes you have scripted things that happen,
Mhm.
that that are very well scripted, they look cool. I'm not gonna say that it changes the gameplay like radically, but it can switch it enough to where you're like, okay, this was a night diversion,
Yeah.
and now I go back to my regularly scheduled ass kicking of the demons. But when you're in a group, it doesn't require that level of communication. Like I don't have to be on Discord with someone like playing, like, okay guys, which I guess it'll be a turn off for people that like that. I'm not into that camp. Certainly I don't hate it, but maybe I'm playing early enough to where that's still not needed also.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. It's nice. It's welcoming, because maybe by the time that that's actually needed, you will know enough of it to like it not be a bother. Like if you can only join us if you're a paladin because we need healing or we need whatever. Like so far that hasn't reared its ugly head.
Okay.
But like who knows later on.
I think after 20 some odd hours, if it starts to rear its head, it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. By that time you're probably
right?
ready, But by that time, that's how long it took me to clear the first continent. Because this game has several continents, and when I say several, I haven't counted them, but they're a shit ton. The game has a cap at level 50. And my understanding is that it has a decent end game. I obviously haven't reached it, so I can't speak to that. The only thing that is a shame, to be honest with you, is that the story is complete like garbage nonsense.
Oh, okay.
Like,
you mentioned that before.
It's unfortunately it doesn't, like it has moments. I'm not gonna lie. the game is good at making you feel like your character is integral to the elements that are happening. Because usually those type of games, your character feels very generic. It's like it could be like anyone, because of course it's an MMO, so everybody is the hero. Everybody is the chosen one. Everybody you see around is the one. So the character, those stories tend to go a little generic. Very few games kind of nailed, making your character feel like, okay, my actions actually they matter, even if in reality it's not really the case. Like, you're not changing the storyline. It's just more to give you the illusion that you are actually playing a role. Knights of the what was it? The MMO, the EA MMO, Star Wars: Knight of the Old Republic, was very good at that. As a matter of fact, I have yet seen a game that handles that so well. Where your character, even if you're playing with other people, your character can make choices, and I guess it ends up being a kind of like a dice roll, basically, to pick up, okay, who is gonna make the decision for the group or whatever. But here it does have some nice set pieces where it makes you feel like your character is important. Without going into like any major spoilers or anything like that. Not that, I guess, for the for not that it matters for the type of story that you're being given. Let's just say that I helped the king, and he made me a knight of his guard, and he granted me my own stronghold, which is a very nice piece of land, like an island, basically, almost like a tropical paradise, basically, where there is another gameplay element to it, which is managing your stronghold. And in managing your stronghold, you feel like you are the lord of that castle. You're the lord of that stronghold. Of course, I named my stronghold Firelink
Okay,
because
sure.
because it's Firelink Shrine.
Hmm.
So Firelink is an up and coming stronghold, where I can invite my friends. I can invite people from my guild, or friends in general, and there's things that you can partake on it. There is research that you could do to get better items, better weapons, better potions, stuff like that. And you also, it's almost like well, no, that'll be overestimating it. It has a small element of managing your own castle, basically, which is neat because you can do that for as long as you want, and then when you want to go back to questing, you just get out of it. um
Okay.
any questions so far? Because I feel like I'm like fucking boring you to death with this descriptions, but
Well, it's not for
honestly,
me anyway, but
you gotta you
I
gotta
mean,
you gotta look video. Maybe when I'm talking, maybe just put video so you can see, so you can at
I
least
did. Yeah, I
appreciate.
did. I have the trailer going. It's
the,
just it's just circling in the background.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine, because I do, because even if it's a game that is not for you guys, I want you guys to look at how much you get for free. First of all, this is a game that so far it hasn't felt predatory at all in its free to playness. Of course, it's starting, and that it could very quickly turn. But right now, it makes an extraordinary good impression. The
Okay.
game graphics are fucking gorgeous. They look great. I want to say this is Unreal Engine. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But there's a feeling, um but the areas are very beautiful when they don't necessarily need to be, because like I said, you don't need to. Well, usually when you're playing, you're playing from a distance, bird's eye view, isometric perspective, but yet you can zoom in into the characters and you see the features of it, which it make. I mean, it's not gonna be like holy shit, Last of Us or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
But there's still
definitely
good detail.
more.
Yeah.
It's definitely more than you would expect for this type of game. Like I told you, Diablo is so screwed right now. Like Blizzard has to be looking at this, just shitting their pants, being like, "Oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
wow, this got released and it costs how much? What are we gonna do here?" Because there is a lot of dude. I said a lot. It shouldn't be surprising because again, the game has been out for 3 years now,
Mm-hmm.
um, or 2 years or whatever. It is a lot of content,
Yeah. So
to
by the
sink
time
your
they
teeth
they
into.
that was actually pretty smart if you think about it. It's being created out there, probably almost being tested and stuff like that, but obviously still doing good. And then really coming to the West with all the content after
Hmm.
seeing how so many, you know, games and services
Hmm.
come out.
This way.
They don't have anything really ready for going. That's the first thing people go. People go right through that freaking content quickly,
Yeah.
and then go, where's my next thing? Where's my next thing? And then the player base falls off. Here they can first, it's free to play, so the barrier entry
Hmm.
is super low, and then secondly, they have 2.5 years of content that they can piecemeal out, and keep people,
Hmm.
once they see the player count start to turn out a little bit. Okay, people have finished stuff, and maybe they're just redoing stuff. Let's go ahead with the next thing here, and it's smart. It's a smart way
Yeah.
of doing it.
Oh, dude, this is the perfect. This is the perfect game for me to be playing while I wait for Elden Ring. And to be honest with you, like you remember where you make the joke, you're playing Sifu. Spoiler alert, he's playing Sifu.
Yeah, spoilers.
um, and at one point, I think because you want to finish that before you go into Elden Ring, and you were saying something along the lines of like, the Elden Ring could use a delay right now, maybe like
Yes.
a week. And I was like, "You heathen! What the hell?" It's like, shut your mouth and like wash it with a bar of soap. Like, how can you be saying stuff like that? Like, that makes no sense. And I'm kind of understanding now because I'm playing this one, um, and I'm feeling like, man, I'm just having a ball with this. And of course, I I'm not. I'm not saying that I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna continue playing all the way to the end game and stuff like that. I mean, I want to, and right now, I definitely that's my feel. But I know how I am sometimes when this games where the end game seems so far, and I kind of like just trail off because at some point, well, I want to play something new, and in this case, it's gonna be Elden Ring. Um, but while I was playing it, I was just even with the shitty story, even with the story that is that is just nonsensical blandness. I really wish they could have nailed it, something like Witcher style, because then this game will be amazing. Then I will say, I don't care, Mad Dog, if you're not into this type of games, you are going to play this game and you are going to like it, sir. Yeah. And I guarantee you will like it or your money back, which is
Oh, that's
zero
right.
dollars.
It's free.
So but no, unfortunately it doesn't hold on the freaking story. It's I mean there there is a story which is it says more than it needs, but it's nothing particularly special. It
Yeah,
does
yeah. Your
have
run of the mill stuff.
it does have its like I wasn't expecting, like at one point I was in a mission where suddenly like the stakes were up to me, and I was running, and of course I have my character running, and it was looking all cinematic. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't expect this to look so cool. And then he makes a jump, and then he does this thing, like in the movies where the camera goes
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and there's an explosion when he hits the ground or something like that. Like, it does that and it looks phenomenal. It's like, okay, game, okay, you are making me you made me smile on this. You're making me have a good time with it, even though your story might be whatever. Like, you definitely have the set pieces there to make cool moments appear cool.
Cool.
Um, and I love that. I absolutely love that. So
It's
so
great
yeah,
that they
and
put that type of money into it. I like that.
yes. I think that this is the best time to release it here because there's so much content. The soundtrack is great. It's also very good. I want to definitely give a shout out to because it has those that music that makes you feel like you're a hero, like you are the hero, and the shit is happening, and when those attack. Oh, dude, let me tell you, when they throw the horde of enemies at you, but I'm talking about the horde where the screen like just feels to the where it becomes a top isometric mushu at one point with how many or musu game, you know the ones I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
where it's
Musou. Yeah,
just
the
you.
Musou games.
Muso, yeah, where it's just you against like the Dynasty Warrior ones, where you're battling like this horde of enemies and you're just destroying them on your own. It does that. And it does that with an incredible style where you're like, okay, I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm gonna survive this, but you're surviving this and you are feeling like a total badass because every hit that you do sounds so incredibly meaty, like they have weight. Like I haven't heard, like this is probably one of the better sounding games when it comes to attack, like feeling like attack. How you describe that? Like attack sounds. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how to
like
describe it.
yeah, an impact sound. Yeah.
Impact, yes,
Mhm.
thank you. That's a very good way of putting it. The impact of your weapons. Um, they feel very weighty, very meaty when you're using those special attacks, and the cooldowns are fast, but not so fast that you're just spamming them.
Hmm.
Um, I could just I don't want to I don't want to stop here because otherwise I'm just gonna be fanboying all the way about this, about this game. Um, I intend to continue playing it. I probably put my my money where my mouth is and buy something from it because um well that's the goal that they're trying to do with
Mhm.
free to play games, and this one fucking deserves it. Like absolutely deserves the deserves it. Like playing. It almost feels like a crime to play this for free because of how good how good the game is, and with the shitty story and all. So yeah,
That's
man.
good.
Can
At
I
least
score it now?
you're getting the what?
Can I give it a score even though I'm not reaching the end game or anything like that?
I
The
mean,
way I
yeah,
feel
it's not
about
like
it,
our score is going to be,
ace
officially in an open critic or some shit.
ace no. An EC 4.0, an EC 4.0 out of 5.
Nice.
On this one, just because of how entertaining the entertaining value of it is on the roof.
Nice.
I almost
Yeah.
want you to just put it just so you can experience it and see
I mean, I
it.
can
But
try to put it on this laptop and see what the heck happens. I mean,
I
I'm not.
wonder. I'd be curious to know how it runs because I will imagine if it's doing so well, that means that a lot of people are playing it on different types of computers, and it must scale pretty well. I mean, the game hasn't crashed on me, not even once. It takes a while to load at the beginning. I do notice
Oh
that,
well, then that's probably what
but
it is. Yeah.
other than that, like it runs very smooth. Um, although I learned that if you play the way I'm playing it, which is on window like fake full screen, there's real full screen where the game is being put on the foreground, and then there is fake full screen, which is the game appears to be full screen. It's just covering your entire view of the computer, but in reality, it's a window. You can open another program if you need to, like, the let me check my Wells Fargo balance or something
Oh
like
wow.
that. Let me check
Okay.
a browser for something. Let me open a tab. Sometimes I have it like that just to, like, if I need to check real quick, like, oh, what does this item do? Does it, I don't know. Say, oh, okay, I got it. Um, but what I was gonna say with the that running it like that, it limits your frame rate to 60 frames per second. So I'm probably been playing at 60 frames per second. I'm not noticing it. It
Well, that's a
still
good thing.
looks.
You're
Yeah,
noticing
it's
it.
pretty
I'm
good.
sure you would notice it was under 60 frames a second.
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll
exactly.
catch
And
your eye. Yeah.
it hasn't dropped. Like, yeah, it hasn't with the it's ridiculous horde of enemies when he throws it at you. It's like a Zerg invasion. You wouldn't know that because that's from StarCraft, but you know what I'm talking about though. When it's
Sure.
just enemies after enemies after enemies after enemies, and it doesn't stop, and the wave is so full that you don't see the floor. You just see enemies.
Nice.
That's
That's
what I'm
actually pretty
talking
cool.
about. Yeah. Lost Ark available now.
Available now on a
And
PC near you.
Yes. Oh my god, this coffee is awesome. So that's what I've been playing. That's the only game that I've actually been playing. Sorry that I can get. I wanted to put some time in Cyberpunk and being able to talk about it because it got really. It finally got released. I don't know if you guys know, but the final version of Cyberpunk actually got released. The 1.0. It went gold, and evidently the vibes are positive. You know, it's just the people. You know, the unbelievers that are gonna be saying like, well, you know, it's too late now because evidently games get stale. And I do believe that the game deserves a second look. It's just it came out at the worst possible time.
Yeah, this is definitely as far as I'm
Absolute.
concerned, they've had their chance. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go back to it, but it has to be a significant window.
Mhm.
And I have to be not playing anything for me to say, okay, now I have the opportunity to do this, because the reality is I'm still burned by it. You know, I'm still
Mhm.
pissed off. And I'm like, no. And then now you want to do this when Elden Ring's coming out? Fuck that. You know
Yeah,
what I
when
mean?
Netflix
You
coming
you
out,
are
it's like
you are so back burner that there may be another 2 or 3 games that happen before you even go in. So,
hey, listen,
um,
it's maybe the timing was shitty, but I'm glad that they did because I've been watching. I haven't tried it myself, but I've been watching people playing it on Twitch, and the overall feeling is that it's like, okay, this is the state that the game, that if the game would have released in this state, it would have been well received.
yeah,
This is the
I'm
stuff.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure it
And
still has some of the bullshit that but it doesn't have. It's not broken. It's not a broken
yeah,
mess. It's
and
actually.
I'm not taking anything away from the work that they've put in it after they collect everybody's money. I'm not
Mhm.
taking. I'm not gonna say anything negative. They put in the work for it, and they finally 1.0'd it. You know what I mean, and all this,
Finally
but yeah,
1.0.
I'm
Yep.
not just the way I'm not. I mean, I will probably get to Horizon Forbidden West before I get to this.
Hmm.
And I'm not getting to Horizon Forbidden West
I
right
can
now
see.
because I'm waiting for Elden Ring, and who knows how
Yeah.
long Elden Ring's I'm gonna be on that.
I'm gonna
So
get to it this year. I'm gonna get to it this year. I am very curious about it. Very curious. Plus, I do like the whole thing, the whole cyberpunk thing. It's. You had before it burned you and it broke our hearts. You had cyberpunk fever for a while.
yeah, I
So
mean for sure.
we all
And
caught it.
but again, I have only myself to blame, and I will 100% say it's only myself to blame. I knew it. I smelled there was an issue, but I got taken by the FOMO, and yeah, that's what happened.
Nice.
I ended up literally
Yeah.
the day before it came out. I ended up getting it, and
Yeah.
then the day of, I ended up getting
Yes.
pissed off and uninstalling it. So it was like,
Never saw the light.
yeah,
Like, I haven't even removed the digital shrink wrap from it. It's still, I installed it, but I haven't started it. Like, I haven't pressed play just yet. I
yeah.
will though,
Let's see.
sometime this year. Things that I have watched on TV,
Oh,
as people do, when they want to have their control less entertainment, because I guess that's things that we still
that's a
do.
thing. Let it go.
Yes. um, so I'm not gonna talk about the movie that I watched that we're gonna have on the topic, obviously, because I need to leave it for the topic.
Well, there are two
Um,
movies that you've seen, but I guess you forgot one. That's
yes,
okay.
no, I did not.
Okay.
Hence the reason why we're having this part. Otherwise, I would have jumped to you and you would have jumped back to me. Be like, oh no, you're gonna tell me how you like Encanto, motherfucker. And I'm gonna be like, oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that completely forgettable movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, I watched Encanto this past week, and I gotta say, I wasn't encantado with it. I did not hate it.
Fair
I
enough.
did
Fair enough.
absolutely 100% did not hate it. I'm not gonna say that. I think it is a cute movie. I think your children will like it. Um, I didn't get the vibe with the whole nobody talks about Bruno thing.
The
Um,
song? Oh, the song is the best, bro.
I should, yeah, I know. It didn't like it was a song and it was nice, but for for a Lin Manuel joint, it didn't. I didn't catch it like I have catch his other stuff. Um, no, but the what I wanted to say first of all, I want to press it by saying I started this movie in English and I immediately had to switch it to Spanish,
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
which I don't do.
I
I don't
know
watch
that is
movies in
definitely.
Spanish.
Yeah. Hmm.
This one I had no problem doing that because you had told me that the Spanish is actually well made on it, and to its credit, it is. It is. It has the like it doesn't feel like even the lip sync doesn't feel like too off, even though obviously it's the lip sync is gonna be off because the
Because it's
animation is
English. Yeah.
English. Yeah, but like it's not like it doesn't bother me that much, watching it. And of course, it is also based on Spanish culture, more specifically, I guess, Colombian, and that lends itself very well to be watching Spanish, obviously, for because of what it is. So, so I had no problem switching it there, but I would have preferred to stick to the English track. Um, if and I didn't because it just things were happening very fast or like the when I watch something in English I kind of have to have subtitles on because my English comprehension like is not at 100% yet where I just grasp everything that is said and it makes perfect sense in my head. Like I have to understand what was said, so I had to put it had to put captions, and I realized that's a crutch. I shouldn't be. Like, probably, if I would have stopped doing that, I probably would have no problem nowadays. But anyway, I had that crutch, so I need to see it. But I realized that in this movie, doing that, I was missing a lot of what was happening on screen, which is integral for this type of movie because this movie is, I mean, it's animation, and this type of animation, like things happens fast, you
Hmm.
know. Um, and so a lot of things were getting lost. Um, so I restarted the movie, in Spanish, and it got a little better. I'm not gonna say it got 100% better because they were still things with musicals. Because it's also a heavy musical, actually. Like all
As a lot of Disney films are, but go ahead.
as a lot of Disney films are, I guess. Hence the reason why I don't care for Disney movies
Okay,
in
fair
general.
enough. Fair enough.
I'd rather go Pixar. I go Pixar
Which is
100%
owned by
before I go
Disney, but
Disney,
whatever.
which is owned by Disney. Yeah, but I'm not saying
I
I'm
know. I
not saying
know.
it from the hating perspective. From the hating Disney perspective. I'm saying it from the
The loving Pixar
not
perspective. No.
not being a fan of musicals perspective. And I knew what I was getting into. And to be fair, I have watched two Luis Manuel musicals
Mm.
that were amazing. That completely changed my stance on musicals in general because I didn't used to. I had to sit through fucking Mamma Mia. And like the whole
Ooh.
thing, I wanted to just like, okay, can I just get out of here without? I don't want to bother anyone by standing up, but I almost want to stand up and leave, because I am bored. This thing is ridiculous, and not only ridiculous, the music is making the music, which is the thing that you appreciate in a musical, is just making this shit sound even more stupid.
Oh, what was the group name? Hold on, I'm trying to find the. Go ahead, sorry.
I just
There's
don't.
an actual group name that all those songs come from. Hold on.
I just I don't I'm not a fan of musicals, and my wife even less. My wife actively hates them, like actively dislike them.
ABBA,
So,
ABBA, a group, a
oh, is
pop
the
group
music of
called
ABBA?
ABBA. Yeah,
Oh well, great, Mamma me.
Mamma Mia, indeed.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. So I knew this was going to be a musical, and I have gone through my share of like awful Disney movies, and I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of them. I'm not gonna watch Aladdin. I'm not gonna watch freaking Frozen. I'm not gonna watch, like, they don't speak even, and I don't. This was Lion King, bro. Lion King is a beloved title,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, no, like, I don't care about this. I mean, I appreciated it a little bit. I think it was all right, but I'm not gonna be a fan of this type of movies. It's just not my style. But okay, this is something different. This is the music from Lin Manuel, and was it the writing also? I don't know. Anyway,
No, just a musical, and I think he has some consulting and stuff like that. That's it.
okay, got you. What the movie was trying to do in itself was, was nice. It was cute. The problem that I had with it was that I did not understand exactly what would, like the movie spends time the setting the setting, I guess, but when it came to the actual plot, it's like, what is the meaning of the doors exactly? Like, they're there for just the purpose of being there. Is this, I mean, it's almost, it's feeling like the story. It's almost feeling like the story from Lost Ark, where it's like things are just there conveniently for reasons, but or for it to be nice, or for it to be special, or to have a moment, but in reality, like, I fail to see the logic behind it, and maybe that's the problem. It's supposed to be,
Yeah.
this was supposed to be magical movies where it's just,
No, not just magical. I
you
think
don't use logic, just believe.
if you look at it from the angle of a fable, for instance,
Mm,
a fable uses magic, uses in some cases enchantments, mystery and stuff like that, and
mm,
they don't always make sense. You know what I mean? It's just because fables are really meant more to tell a story
mm,
through this medium of a fable, and so that we're looking at it from that angle. Then it's like, okay, you don't have to focus on the why, because I get the reason why.
mm.
Because honestly, that was one of the questions I had. I was just like,
Why did the
why do
powers?
they have? Why are they being granted powers? Why is it just this
Why they grant?
family?
And why those
Where did it
specific
exactly come
powers?
from? Yeah, why is it
Exactly.
this candle? What's with the candle?
Yes.
All these little questions. And when you have enough of those pass by, and I go, okay, clearly this is those are angles that it's not needing me to understand. It just needs
Understand?
there's
Yes.
something else I need to understand. And then
Mm,
once you hang that up, and I get it, some people are not going to hang it up because some people are going to analyze it a little bit more. And go, well, wait, well, how's this and
mm,
what that, um and in many ways just looking at it from a normal village in in Colombia, you're just gonna go,
mm.
yeah, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what I mean to say is, like, when I look at it from the angle of a fable, those fables have weird things within them that don't make
You
sense,
agree that
but it's
you.
just meant to be an
Mm,
angle to tell a story. That's what fables are. Fables are usually
mm,
warnings or tales from that type of angle. And they include mysterious elements that you're just like, this doesn't make sense. It was like, it's okay, it's a fable. It's not supposed to make sense,
You
But I
want to
get
see
it
it?
if you don't see it from that angle, if it doesn't immediately, if you don't immediately capture that. There's
No.
many films that when I look at, and I think in many ways can be summed up as that as well, where you may not like them, and not just you, some people may not appreciate them, but when I come at it from that angle as well, because sometimes that's the angle that they're wanting to come from.
Yeah.
And when you look at it that way, you go, oh, okay, I see what, again, the point is to shed away the weird stuff, still understand the weird stuff and know that they're there, but
Mhm.
shed that away. And what is the actual tale that we're wanting to tell here? And in this one, for me, it was this basically a story of a Latino family. You know what I mean? And I cannot not say that there is a member of my family that I cannot point to a character and go, "Yep, that's them." Yep, that's exactly how this person is. And did you hear my line? Right? You better figure it out because he's coming for you. I don't know if you heard that, if you really remember that, but
No,
it was one of my favorite lines because he's just so exaggerated. Anyway, that's beside the point.
yeah. I also watched it in Spanish, so it might have sounded a little
True,
different.
yeah, that's true.
Also, I hate the fact that they put it in Spanish, but then the subtitles also in Spanish, also in the same type of Spanish, which is the Latino American Spanish, not the Spaniard Spanish.
Mhm.
And they don't match what they're saying.
The words don't match. Yes,
I hate
that's
that.
annoying too. Yeah, I hate that shit too.
I
I hate that when I watched like I've watched certain and not to get off topic, but I've watched certain things where it's in English and I still leave subtitles because I want to. Sometimes you miss stuff, and that English doesn't match the English, and I'm just like, okay,
And what's the point of? I mean,
exactly, yeah.
there is a point. It's for the hearing impaired. We
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that.
exactly.
But
It's not technically for us.
it's not technically for us. We shouldn't be probably complaining. But yeah, anyway, that the movie did it. I mean, you want to watch a fable, just put Zootopia there. Now there's a story.
Oh my god, that's got to be your favorite.
It's right up there.
Are you serious? Get the hell out of here!
Dude,
You with your
Zootopia was
furries? Get out of
awesome.
here, bro!
You get out of here with this, this bull crap. So Zootopia was a great movie.
It was a
I mean,
good
I'm
movie.
not
I'm
putting
gonna say it was a
it's
good
not
movie.
it's not Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is the movie for me, and Incredibles.
The
But those are
Incredibles
Pixar.
is the best Pixar film. I'm sorry. I feel like The Incredibles
You're
is the
not
best.
wrong. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
saying
feel like
that
it's
you're
like the
wrong, but
best
also
one
you're
they
not
ever
saying that you're right because to me it's a toss up there. And
Fair
also
enough,
there
fair
is
enough.
some glaring holes in movies that I haven't watched. The Pixar movies actually that I should by heart have seen and I haven't. But what are you gonna do? However, I did not see the Encanto on Encanto. It was I don't know. It didn't hit with me and with my wife. Like we didn't really understand what the whole thing with the I mean, things were happening. And of course, because it's animation, they tend to make like the very exaggerated moves and stuff, which it
Mhm.
just comes out as a little annoying and silly because we know it's for the demographic. It's for kids that they need those exaggerated moves and that those exaggerated expressions whenever things are happening and that's fine. But I can see why kids like it. But to me,
Not just
I'm
kids,
sorry,
but go
bro, but
ahead.
well, it didn't jive with this adult and with the other adult in the room. So I want 2.0 it. I'm just gonna 2.0 it.
2.0. That's oh shit. What I forgot what that is. That's mediocre, no? No. Really mediocre. Wow.
Is it? Oh, I
believe
can't
so.
say that. Now you're making me feel bad.
Oh no,
I
I mean,
I should be
that's what you
looking at
feel
these
at.
things before I start throwing numbers on it. Hold on, let me see, because I also want to be fair. It's not a wasted effort either. Like if finds it, holy shit, yeah, that's a 2.0. No, that's too harsh. Okay, let's say 2.5. How about that?
2.5. So it's mediocre then. Okay.
It is mediocre. What do you think, babe? 2.5. There you go. She agrees
Okay.
with the 2.5.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's a mediocre. It's not really mediocre because really mediocre will be almost insulting. And I think this movie, there was a part where I actually, I had the feels a little bit. It was like, okay, this is cute.
I have a feeling I already know what scene, but yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that scene. But then it just goes back to trying to
Then
understand
real
the
world
film.
happened again, and you're like, well, this real world doesn't
But
exist in this real world. So
why does it have, why do they have powers, and who was the villain here?
there is no villain. That's the other thing. That was another interesting thing where there is no villain. You first think it's going to be Bruno. Then you see later on, it's like,
Fucking
it's
spoiler alert. I mean, shit.
well, I mean, I'm saying is, whatever, it is. And then you think maybe it's Abuela, or, and the finger keeps going everywhere else. And you're like, I have no
Yes.
idea. And by the way, you just said who the villain is. So obviously you spoiled that part. So
I didn't say it was the villain. I say who was the villain.
that's what I'm saying.
I put the question. You're the one
Meaning-
that answered it. You shouldn't have answered it. If you shouldn't have answered it could have been like, oh, who is the killer? Oh, wait a minute. There was nothing killed in this movie.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing
Exactly.
exploded. Well, that's not true. There was an explosion, but it was very underwhelming, just like the rest of the movie was. I finally understand why our mutual friend posted what she posted.
What she posted, yeah.
That's just I think I was gonna find myself agreeing with her, but even with the Latino representation, it's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of with you. Yeah, because even movies like Aladdin and stuff like that had a more purposeful story to tell. But then again, maybe that wasn't a fable more. It was
No, that was pretty much straight up story.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing I like of movies when they actually have stories.
Yeah, when you just have your normal 3-act structure is all.
Yes,
I need.
exactly.
All I'm
Even the
asking
3
for.
acts. How about that? All right, that's it with Encanto. And I think, unless you want me to talk about the other movie, but
Oh no. We'll save that for the end. We'll save that for the hot topic. The hot topic. All right, good stuff, man. For me, I want to go.
What have you been playing?
Flip
Mad
the
Dog?
story. Flip the script back to gaming, because I actually was able to finish Sifu. Yes,
You did it?
I did. I finished it last night.
Nice, congratulations! Finally, you got your demons exercise finally.
Well,
Because I feel like you were playing, you were struggling with this game, and then you told Dark, and Dark went in and probably rented it or something, and I beat it in 3 days.
oh yeah, I had zero doubt that he was gonna. He had mentioned it last week that we did some share play, and because he didn't own the game yet, so I just let him run through the level on one of them, and just to kind of get a feel for it. He was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be good," and he played Absolver. He played a lot more Absolver than I did. So when he saw the technique on dodging and stuff like that, he kind of picked it up fast because he said, "Oh, this is very similar to Absolver." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
I don't recall, to be honest with you, but anyway, dude, I have to honestly say
This is not gonna give him of the year, bro. Come on.
this. Well, first off, let's be real. Nothing else has released yet, so it's easy to say. Well, it's at the top.
Horizon is game of the year
the-
contender easily right now, evidently.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, because I'm going to use their reviews. Sure. No, you're probably right. Obviously,
You're gonna hate it, right?
it will easily get toppled by probably a lot of things that are going to be come out of this year. But that said, in a lonely year like last year, for instance, this would have a good shot. You know what I mean? Maybe not making the top because I know what I made. I remember what I made my top yesterday, but just at least being mentioned in the group, because this game is special. It is not a long game. It is a roguelike, but not in your normal sense. You know what I mean? You don't lose everything. You know what I mean? And so people comparing it to roguelikes a little bit, not correct, but
that's what they always say. And then you're playing, and then suddenly, I wasted 4 hours of my life because I lost to this fool. And
no. It's not even anywhere close to that. there's always unlocks. There's essentially 5 bosses you're getting to. Each one is at the end of a stage, but it's set up to be very cinematic almost. But again, once let's say you finish the first area at age 34, then you make it to the next one and you die. You will always start the second level at 34. Now, if you finish the stage at say 28 the next time, then that becomes your lowest starting point. Um, and that's always locked in unless you erase your save file. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um,
I'm gonna mute, but I'm gonna still listen. I don't want the clacking of my wife's keyboard to be
oh no,
taken.
that's fine. That's
By
fine.
the
No
mic.
worries, no worries.
Are you able
I
to?
can't I can't even hear it. So
Oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
probably fine. It's probably
Yeah.
just my mic, but just in case, please continue.
So yeah, so the so what was I saying? Oh no, so you have those moments where those things are unlocked and you can come back to them at any point. But the challenge behind it is it is an extremely fun challenge in the sense that you feel like a kung fu badass when you get the shit right. Some of those early bosses that I was having, that I was literally like, son of a bitch, that was a lie, and all this other stuff. I can get through them now without even losing a year, or losing or getting killed or anything like that.
I'm sorry. I'm back. What are we talking about? Because I went to the bathroom.
Wow, really? Is that what happened?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I heard the whole thing. I heard the whole thing.
So it is
You're talking about that now you're able to like destroy at least the beginning bosses.
the first two
If you're
bosses.
that good.
The third one, yeah, the first I've actually added you start as a 20-year-old, and I can
Mm.
get to the stage 3 as a 20-year-old. Uh,
Oh shit! And that's your save file then.
that's yeah. And stage 4, I think, or rather stage 3, I finished that at I think at 28, and stage 4, I finished that at 34.
You're not
Stage
dying on the club, which is stage 2, which is one of the most annoying parts of from
So
the
they
reviews
say,
so far.
exactly. So they say, and it really isn't. And that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like and this is what's annoying the shit out of me, because this is another, I guess hot button topic in the group for a hot minute, where it was like, oh, they're gonna put in, whatever. And me personally, I was like, I don't think it needs it. Sure, if the developer wants to do it, okay, no big deal. That's their game. They can do
Oh,
whatever.
they're easy mode. When the developer's saying that they're
Apparently
putting the easy
they're on
mode,
talks
yeah,
or thinking about it, whatever,
yeah.
but it's coming from pressure, and that's what's annoying me, because I feel like that's what it's the pressure coming from them. Hey, make your game more accessible, and it's like, it's already accessible. You know what I mean? It's not
For you.
I mean, no, I
I know.
have to
I'm just pressing
disagree. Yeah,
buttons.
yeah, I have to
I'm just
disagree. It's
pressing buttons.
not.
Remember, I've always been the camp that of they're
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
changing absolutely anything for the way you actually play it, so it shouldn't be affecting you. Yada, yada. But that's my thing.
But
I
in essence, like I
understand
said, in essence,
also
it
the others.
kind of does, because that's why I took a picture of it. They haven't done the update yet. I took a picture of it. I have it saved, of me, of my trophy of beating the final boss. Before, I don't know if they're going to put it in again. It's still I guess an idea, whatever like that. But it means something different to have that trophy when there's no other path to get to it. You know what I mean? There was only one path. Now there's 3 or 4 paths depending on what they do. And does that make it
And your
any?
value is yours.
It, in essence, it can. Yeah, to me, it does. You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, I didn't have that easy path to get to it. Would I have used it? Maybe, but it wasn't there at the time. And again, if the developer chooses to do this on their own, first off, I feel like they would have done it already. It would have already came out that way with it. But secondly,
Well, who
coming
knows?
at it from,
Because if Elden Ring comes with suddenly out
if
of
it
the box
does, yeah,
with this, that's gonna. I feel like you guys are gonna flip your
no, I
shit.
wouldn't flip it, because if that's the choice of what they wanted to do with that game, then that's the choice. Again, if Sifu came out with 2, 3 different difficulty levels, it
Mhm.
is what it is. That's the way they chose to make it. You know what I mean? It's just, and I know for just being
Mhm.
on the websites, that a lot of this is coming from a lot of just bullshit pressure.
Right.
Make your game more accessible, blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, not every game is for everyone. That's just the case. You just talked God knows how long about Lost Ark and how amazing it is. It's
Mhm.
not for me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much
But it can be. It's
the
not like it's selling. It's not. It's not being like well, you don't have the skill, therefore you don't get to. It's not doing that.
Neither is this. This is not saying you don't have the skill. You don't have the patience. Okay, sure, that's one thing. But do you have
I feel like
do you
we're
have the
literally
skill?
splitting
Yes, you
hairs
can do.
here. But okay.
No, we're not. Because that's all it takes. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it feels like this, mountain when it really is just the molehill to get
I
over.
feel like every time that this comes,
This comes up.
I need to clarify, my stand, because people tend to misinterpret it, whether accidentally or on purpose, just to start shit. I don't care if they do or they don't. My stand has always been that whatever the developers end up doing to a game that I have already played in a particular sense doesn't affect the way or my accomplishment, because I'm not trying to show off to anybody. And this, I'm playing for myself and my own enjoyment, and it doesn't it doesn't affect me if suddenly they make a baby mode on it. It doesn't affect me. That said, if I also don't believe that games that are made a particular way, they should be forced into be made into easier. So, for example, you're right. It is shitty that this is actually being done over pressure.
Potentially, right? Because the developer is never going to say we were pressured into it. You know what I mean?
I guess we might be, but let's say for example it is, because I can't remember an example of that has happened where it has been done.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were to do it,
Returnal,
I'll still be like, well, I didn't know, because that was more. They were not changing the difficulty on that game. They were just making a change that
again, this is kind of also splitting hairs. It's like part of the difficulty was the fact that you had this long ass run. You know what I mean? And if you
have a life, then you shouldn't be okay. I get it. All right, fine.
No,
fine. Let's say Returnal then. Let's say Returnal then. If it just being
example,
allowed to not have to leave my console on because I suddenly need to run to the bathroom to take a shit or something.
I for one, I think that was actually a good, because that really didn't change technically. It really didn't change the game. Right. But you have your hardcore like, oh, it doesn't need it. It's just just man through it and all this stuff. I think that this obviously is very different, but you still have that pushback. You know what I mean?
That is the thing. Again, it's not having a balance and just having people like flip over like little nonsense shit. It's like if suddenly they go tomorrow and they put an easy mode to Dark Souls 3, I'm not gonna think Dark Souls 3 was shit. Suddenly, oh, this game's crap because now other people can beat it. It's like, who cares? I played it on the mode that I played it, and and I'm happy, because if I were to get bothered because of that, then I should be bothered that the developer put a hard mode, because damn, this game has a hard mode. I guess I'm obligated to play hard mode because I need to prove all other people that I'm a gamer. Like, that bullshit annoys me. If they want to make it accessible, who gives a shit? Honestly, yeah, it sucks if the developers are suddenly forced to stop working on maybe content that they could be planning on just to put a fucking baby mode on it. But if they do, it doesn't automatically make the game less shitty, or it doesn't take away the fact that I still enjoyed it and I still play and I still beat it in a certain way. And whether I get the trophy or somebody gets the trophy, and it's like, who cares? Because we're not comparing dick sizes here.
That's not. First of all, I'm sure that there are many people who are comparing that, comparing trophies and stuff like that. But I will be the first to say that,
that's what it sounds like, though.
I will completely disagree. Well, no, because I'm not. I'm looking at it saying, I did this. I accomplished this. This is something that I can say I did, and this was before anything. Any update.
It's an EP-ness. It's an EP-ness.
Yeah, but I'm not showing it to anybody. You see what I'm saying? I'm not exposing or measuring it with anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just an accomplishment I have. And like it or not, whether you agree or I agree or disagree, whatever the case may be, it does diminish if suddenly that path is different. Now, do I care? No, I already did it. Now you can do whatever you want with the game. That's what I said when you
now you're
first posted the
contradicting
thing.
yourself,
I was
man.
just like, oh, just wait a week. I just need to get it done. You know what I mean? I was like, and then I'm good.
Now you're contradicting
But
yourself
no,
because you're
the
saying that it
reality
doesn't
is,
matter.
the reality is, like it or not, the game has changed. Like you said, you adding an easy mode of Dark Souls, does that make it a bad game? No, you and I are not going to say it's a bad game because one, it's not a bad game, and two, we already had our experience with it. But does that change the game? Yes, it does. It does fundamentally change the game. Period.
But
There's no if, ands, or buts about that.
It
There's
shouldn't
no
matter to
even
you because
argument
you
about
already
it.
played it.
No, I know. I understand we haven't replayed it, but that still means that Dark Souls has changed. So if I ever want to revisit it, it's not even the same game, even though
It is if you play it on
potentially
the same
one of the
level.
modes in there will be similar to the mode that we originally played.
If you play it on normal, it'll still be the same experience.
Sure, if that's the real normal that we played back then, right?
Well, they're not saying we're gonna make, the developers are not saying we're gonna make the normal mode easier. They're just saying we're gonna add a different option. It's alternatives. We always want alternatives,
I get it.
Except for when it doesn't suit our.
No, not the one that suits, except for when there isn't a need for one. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
there isn't a need for one.
You just because if someone doesn't have the need doesn't mean that the need does not exist. Because other people could be having the need, they could.
I mean, I can
the need
understand
could be something as simple
like
as
true
I just want to
accessibility.
fucking play it.
I can understand true accessibility when it's like, okay, the game is difficult and we have to make this a way where everyone can play it with whatever type of controller that you need to be able to play it with and that stuff. I can understand that. You know what I mean? But outside of that, it's accessible already.
We need to. I think the gaming industry needs to be less precious about their,
like I said, if it's already part of it, or if a choice already happens, again, and this is just my opinion for the record. I'm not. My opinion does not speak for GG and its and its affiliates. It's just
you're the founder of GG. You speak for GG. There's no way to get away from that, sir.
You're messing up my thing here. But anyway, honestly, this is a long path to just go back to. I really don't think any adjustment is needed on Sifu. Yes, it's not going to be an easy trek, but neither is there are plenty of games who are not. Hell, I found Kena Bridge of Spirits to be a pain in the ass at one point where I was just like, "Fuck this!"
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I even changed it to easy mode, to the easy mode on it. So I'm not above
mode.
Yes, it did, because that was their intent. The intent was, hey, if you don't want to go through that, you can switch it to whatever, and whatever the case may be. Again, really comes down to let the developer do whatever game that they're wanting to create, and to force them to do anything else, that actually makes it worse.
Yeah, to force them. I agree.
That's really my argument here. It's like, hey, if Sifu came out and it had multiple modes, obviously I would have just gone with normal. You know what I mean? And just went with it. But if it doesn't come out with one, to demand one is just as bad as the opposite and saying get good. You see what I'm saying? It's just as bad.
Yeah, we don't want to take, like, if the intention, like, I completely get that, and I completely agree with that. Not all games need to have the easy mode. The only thing I'm saying is that the only difference in my stand is that if it were to happen, I'm not gonna flip my shit about it. No, because I already had the experience that I wanted. And if the intention, and there's a difference between, let's say game got 1.0 and it had normal, but then patch 1.2 added an easy mode, we can't just automatically assume, oh, well, they fall in pressure. Because it could be actually it takes care of the programming. Look at Metroid
Prime.
Dread. Metroid Dread. Thank you. Metroid Dread recently got a patch that added a baby mode and a hardcore one-shot mode.
I don't think it's called the baby mode, sir.
But you know what it is. I'm just being facetious. Yeah.
No, I
If
got you. I
anything,
got you.
you
But
got an
honestly,
easy mode,
there was no uproar
and
about
there was no
Metroid Dread. You know
exactly.
what I
It's
mean?
like,
There's
why is that?
I
Because
don't
that
know
game was
why is
hard.
there an
That game
uproar
was
about
not.
Sifu?
Huh?
Why is there an uproar about Sifu? You know what I'm saying? Because there was none about Dread, and Dread was hard. There
Well,
is one about Sifu, and Sifu's hard. So I'm like, what's the problem here? Why does one deserve an uproar and the other one gets a pass? Is it
right?
because that's Nintendo and they can do no wrong? You
or
know what I
or
mean?
or it's expected, or I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
making the uproar. I tell you that.
I know.
I could go either way. If they decide to add it or if they decide to not add it, I could go either way. But some people get way too precious with their games, and you need to a stop thinking that it's all about you,
For sure.
in general, and b realize that it doesn't change in any way whatsoever your experience with it, because you already played it, and you can't go to the past and say, oh well, it's shit now. Star Wars was made into a shitty movie,
Oh my God.
into a
Every
shitty, like
update is, yeah.
they changed a bunch of shit on Star Wars. But you know what? The original Star Wars was still a fantastic movie, and it doesn't change the fact that that exists.
Too bad you can't find it anywhere, but
That's
except
true.
for online somewhere and some dark web. But anyway, no. So anyway, going back to
Nobody
Sifu,
talks about Bruno. I mean, about the Dark Web.
about the dark web. No, going back to Bruno. No, kidding. Going back to Sifu. No, honestly, this is easily a 4.0. The
Nice.
fighting is excellent. Once you really get down the mechanics of it, I mean, I cannot express how fucking cool so much of it is. And cinematic wise, I thought the second area, the club, was probably the coolest looking spot until you go further into the game. You just go, oh no, these guys really made these
Mhm.
wonderfully beautiful stages,
Mm.
and really well made. I think honestly the third is my favorite, which is the museum. Um, but anyway, it's just an I don't know, it's just a game that I had my eye on. I wasn't
Mhm.
sure what it would be, what it would be, and if it would deliver, because Slow Clap only had one game, and whatever, and to really embrace what they were trying to do, and for them to really go in and say, this is our vision, this is how we're going to do it. They did a lot of different elements by having the death counter, by having the fact that you get older as you go in, just a lot of weird things that you don't see in games
Mm.
right now, and just bring those elements together and really make something unique. You know what I mean? And I think that alone is why I feel like it's easily a 4.0. Easily a 4.0. I slept on it, and I've still landed on that number. So it's just like, because let me tell you, you can ask my wife. There's a lot of cursing that happens as you're playing this game, because you're really trying to figure out the enemies patterns, and you're always trying to just make it and not die. Now I
Mm.
just get mad by losing a year, when before I was losing 5 or 6 years whenever I die, because of how often I did. And it's funny, I'm more frustrated now because I'm trying to do that perfect run, is really what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm more pissed off, because then I'm like, fuck, I gotta start this show over. you Anyway, that's beside the point.
Perfect run.
The perfect run. I want to end the game at the same age of 20. But we'll see. We'll see.
Mhm.
That's even possible. But anyway, really excellent game.
What are you
Uh,
playing next then?
no, I'm playing that. I'm gonna. So, I won't spoil anything here, but there is story wise reason to go through it again. And
Mm.
so that's
It
what
was all a dream.
I'm gonna do. I won't spoil it here, but I'm a little. One of the reasons why it's a 4 instead of a 4.5 is because of a specific thing where I was like, okay, and we've spoken about stuff like this in gaming, where it's like, if you're gonna give multiple choices or multiple paths, then
Mhm.
fill out all the paths. Make it
Mhm.
like The Witcher, right? The Witcher, doesn't matter what you did, everything is going to have a fulfilling end. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I don't think I can quite say that here about Sifu. And so
Mhm.
so anyway, that's that. I'll leave it at that. I won't say anything else. But 4.0 Sifu, and so that's what I'm going to be playing. So I will continue to do that because honestly, I'm not going to start anything. Maybe I'll go back and finish Blasphemous because I'm at the last boss.
Yeah, before you lose your skill, they have to start all over.
Maybe we'll see. But and I don't know what else I can jump into that I can do in probably a week. You know what I mean? Less than a week, right? Because Thursday night, I'm not doing this
Is it
Friday.
now?
This is
Do we
Thursday
know?
night. You know what I mean?
Do we know for a fact that it's releasing on? Is it a midnight release? I don't know.
I don't know. Everything that I have done digitally via PlayStation Store has been
Yeah,
that
you're right.
midnight.
That might be another reason to go also console because PC Steam releases are usually 1 p.m. the next day or the same day, but at 1 p.m. it's like fuck.
What
Man,
the
come
hell?
on.
Okay, no. I mean, I don't know.
I'll
Everything
tell
I've
you what,
seen, it's
that
a
might
bit
be
weird.
that might be the thing that
The catalyst.
yeah.
Changes
That
your.
if I find out that it's just gonna release, staggered all the way to 1, I'm not waiting. I'm not. No.
I don't blame you. I didn't know that was going to be the case. I'm going to be there at midnight. I'm probably going to preload it. I hope they. I mean, they usually
If they
do.
allow it, yeah.
Yeah, they usually do. But we'll see. We'll see what From Software. I mean, it's also there's some online. Obviously, Elden Ring is going to have some online elements, so we'll see what that is. But in the meantime, so that's Thursday night. So really, I don't. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want. There's nothing really to start that I'm going to finish between now and then, and I don't want to leave it half hanging.
Lossar? Okay.
I mean, I'll try it. I said, I mean, it's free. I'll download it, put in the piece into my laptop, and see how it runs.
You have to use the keyboard for some attacks. Although the game has a gamepad
option.
I mean, it's not fleshed out. I don't think. I think it's just there, kind of like, oh yeah, like an afterthought. But I don't know. I haven't tested it. Maybe it is fleshed out, and I just haven't tried it. But
Okay.
it is even with keyboard and mouse. It was kind of maybe it won't be for you because you're not conditioned to any type of specific movement or specific
gameplay on
specific
keyboard.
option.
I'm not. I mean, if you need me to type shit out, I can type shit out like. But outside of that,
no. But more like you use like the Q, like the QWERTY and the ASDF for your special attacks, and I find that kind of odd because usually, to me, those are movement keys. But in this game, you use them for the for attack, and sometimes like I have to look down to see what key I'm hitting. Although I guess the way that the hecticness of the fight, like it doesn't really matter. You can just smash your way.
I mean, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm not going to say that
I'll be curious, but I don't expect.
First off, like he said, the free to play is not a big issue. Specifically because you've explained that it's a free to play that does, or at least doesn't appear so far to have that, that pull to say, hey, take your wallet out. We need you to pay for something. So when it doesn't have that, I mean, that's usually what steers me away from free to play in general. But there are good ones. You think of some good ones like Apex and fuck, even Fortnite. You know what I mean? That's got, you can play that at any point and it's got good gameplay. But there are some good ones, and so it's good to know that this fits within that bill. But an MMO was just like, I'll tell you the one I tried Terra, and I was like, wow.
You did try Terra, fucking hell.
I did fucking try Terra, yeah. And I was just like, I don't know half of what's going on. And I played for a good maybe hour, which it was like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, which I know, I get. It's an MMO. An hour and a half is like the most minuscule crumb next to a pie that you actually need.
That's okay because the story is right along those lines.
Oh, so I'm sure.
Yeah, that should set the stage. Yeah. But at least in advance.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, we'll see. But for now, I really do. I want to continue playing Sifu. The gameplay is that addictive that it's just sometimes I just play it. Like even when I was trying to still beat the game, I'd pick it up, jump on, and just make a run. And it didn't matter where I ended. I was just, I wasn't resetting or anything. I was just taking it as far. Try it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, that's all I've been playing. I did watch a movie that we'll talk about, but I did watch one other thing that I just want to briefly go into, and that is a movie on Netflix called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is based on a true story. It is Chadwick Boseman's last film before he passed away.
Oh wow.
And stars Viola Davis, stars him, a bunch of other folks. And it's a true story about a blues singer, Ma Rainey, and her band when they're trying to record Black Bottom, which is her song,
Hmm.
at a studio and everything that goes on in that particular scene. It is a very interesting movie in the sense that there isn't a lot going on in the film. It's just a lot more of character development and acting, which is really good. Um, and on top of that, I was Chadwick Davis, Chadwick Boseman, excuse me. You know, you know, one of the things he was so secretive about his being sick that
Hmm.
a lot of people didn't know he was sick until he was like it was towards the end, like shortly before he passed away. But he was doing movies and not saying anything. But you can see how he significantly looked so much thinner in this film.
Really?
And oh yeah, yeah. And I looked, I was like, just comparing him to Black Panther. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just like, wow. You know, this is again one of the film. This is his last film before he passed. And just
Wow.
seeing that, and it's just like, my gosh, you know, to have somebody who first off loves the craft of acting, obviously he
Hmm.
clearly was a passionate about that, but to really take it to the end, and then and by the way deliver an excellent performance in this film, by the way.
Yeah.
But knowing that in there he's probably in a lot of pain, you know what I mean, because his body's going through what it needs to go through, and then just his look, he's very thin. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, man!" It's just knowing that. Honestly, that I don't think this is the point of the film. The point
Yeah.
of the film is actually the film itself. What it's trying to do is really good, but just having that in your head as you're watching, just realizing that he's probably in a lot of pain right now doing this, and doing it very well. And anyway, good film. This is an actual Netflix joint, so you can see it at any point. It
Okay.
is, a sort of a mini biopic again because it has to do with Ma Rainey, which is she was considered to be the mother of blues, and Viola Davis is like fierce in this. I don't know if you remember Viola Davis, but well, you
Hmm.
saw Suicide Squad, the more recent Suicide Squad, the one who plays the head of the Suicide Squad, the ones that will blow their heads off.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
Viola Davis, and he or she is like fierce, bro. Actually, not too
Yeah.
far from that either, but
No, yeah.
but
I was
but
gonna say 'cause
more,
I do
but,
remember her being very fucking
but
fierce
more
on set.
1927, Chicago. You know what I mean? A black woman who's really telling people what she wants and saying, "I don't give a shit what you want. I'm telling you what I
Mhm.
want, and I need you to." You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
seeing that, and just knowing that, this is a person who was able to, throw her weight around like that, and really get things done was like, oh, and again, 1927. Now this is in the North, obviously Chicago, so not like the South. Obviously, South would probably be a lot harder to do that at that time. But anyway, really cool film, and really sad to see, that was the last one that this guy did. I mean, sad in the sense that he looked it. He looked like he wasn't doing too well. So
Oh
anyway,
wow.
that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that we have been up to.
No, you haven't.
Oh,
No, you haven't.
oh.
You've also been watching The Expanse. You got to tell me what's going on. You know, where's you leading? Where's that? Okay, we can talk off air about this
the
one.
so I can quickly say I'm in season 2. I
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
my
right.
wife and I are actually kind of into it. It took a little bit. I think I told you from the first season where I was like the Miller and the oh god,
The
what's her name?
storyline.
The
Oh,
storyline with
and
Miller
the whole
and
group.
Julie,
Oh, and yeah,
Julia, yeah, and
Julie Mao.
yeah, that storyline really was like, like just, oh my god, this is not, and of course, as I mentioned towards the season end, it really comes together really nice. So we saw starting season 2, and of course, immediately and see, I think the very first episode of season 2, I get
Don't spoil anything.
perfect confirmation of what I was telling you regarding two people who were googly eyeing each other. I was like, oh, like it happened. I was like, called it. And anyway, some things, political things happening a little bit more often here. I think there's some Anyway, I won't go into detail, but
No, no, no.
we're
We'll talk.
definitely
We'll talk off air, but
we're definitely enjoying.
overall,
We were introduced to the new the Martian leader of I guess she's a Marine, Bobby, and so she got introduced and her team, and there's a few. I'm just trying to see where I'm at. I just saw the episode I just saw was the Seventh Man, right?
I don't.
The
I
Seventh
don't
Man.
remember the name.
Yeah, that was the seventh. That was well, I'll tell you off air. But anyway, which is episode. Fucking, I gotta count this shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of season 2.
Oh, okay. You're deep. You're deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm basically in the middle of this one. So I think there's 13 episodes, and so yeah, no, it's definitely got our attention. We definitely, are into it. We kind of know that was the hard part, right? Just remember the character's name, remember where they're at. Still a huge fan of Amos. Still need an Amos in my life to beat people up and shoot people when I need them to shoot them. Just that's that person. Everybody needs an Amos. Everybody needs an Amos. I tell you, I'm gonna make that shirt. Everybody needs
an Amos. Yes. Hashtag the Expanse.
The Expanse. Yeah. So explain, right?
Yes, otherwise it might come out like a little bit weird.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little woke.
I mean, hey, anyway.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that we've been doing. And we are back, guys, from a nice little break. And real quick, before we move into our hot topic of the week,
Hot topic. Oh, sorry.
I do. Oh, sorry.
I jumped there for a second. There.
Yes, you did. I mean,
I just heard hot topic of the week. Hot topic.
Well done, sir. Well done. That's what I need you to be. I need you to have that hair trigger. A hair trigger. Make sure you have that ready. No, the Mouthfuls Games Radar. Just want to point out some games that are coming out next week. I'm going to start with the most obvious of them all. And if you don't know, frankly,
well, now you know.
What was wrong with you? But Elden Ring.
Strawberry Shortcake's Great Adventure. Oh, no, not that one.
No, that one.
Oh, no, that one got delayed because, they decided to do open world on Strawberry Shortcake.
The sad part is that I picked that on one of my draft picks. But anyway, Elden Ring. By the way, you probably haven't even looked since we did
No,
the draft
I
pick.
have. I know that frigging Sparrow Wolf, it's ahead of us.
He took the lead.
He's completely fucking out of left field random game that we were trying to fuck him with this one evidently, and he ended up backfiring, which is Total War 3.
Warhammer,
Warhammer, Warhammer Total War 3, I think is what it's called. And
yes, that's correct.
The game's reviewing amazingly, so much so that it
bro.
literally have me looking at, let me check 1 and 2 to see what type of game. And then I realized what type of game it was, and I was like, damn it, of course. This game tend to do incredibly well on PC. Like, what was I thinking?
Well, actually, believe it or not, Chaos has officially taken the lead today because, of course, he had Horizon Forbidden West, which came out today.
How is that doing?
So right now it's at an 89. So he's got 19 points for that. Sifu, he also had Sifu. That's another 10 points. So he's at 29 right now.
Yeah. Well, he has all right, so he has quantity. It's quantity over quality. Chaos. Come on, it's not. This game's not over, sir.
Here's the sad part. A certain Mr. Dark, he had Dying Light 2, which only got him 6 points. It came out at 76 because of all of its errors. His cross pick was Horizons Forbidden West.
No, we knew that. We absolutely knew that.
Yes, which got him a negative 19. So he currently sits at a negative 13.
might as well. At this point, there is no. I mean, what could possibly happen? Let me see his picks.
He needs to drop that. He needs to drop Suicide Squad because that shit has been delayed. Delayed in contention. There is very credible reports that this game has been delayed and therefore will not release this year. The game is still counted as a will release game for drop purposes, but it cannot be counterpicked. Okay, so it's right. But he should drop that shit. They already made that fucking. I don't know what he's waiting for.
He has to. I mean, it must be a miraculous release of Dead Space, the remake, and be stellar.
Yeah.
And then Destiny. Oh no!
Who counterpicked him?
For Destiny 2?
Yeah. No, for Horizon. Who counterpicked him?
Spiral for Destiny 2. And you did for Dead Space.
I got Dead Space, yeah, but I don't know. Someone. Oh, okay. It hasn't come out yet. That's why. Okay, never mind.
Who did I counterpick?
Your counterpick was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and I believe that is on Sparrow's list. Yeah,
that's Sparrow's. Yep. Yeah.
By the way, I've picked up a few games, and no one else has. So I'm just gonna. I'm even gonna tell you guys. I mean, you guys are just.
No, I mean, I haven't picked anything new because like nothing else has come up. Also, I don't see yours on your list. What the hell is it? Do they don't post?
What do you mean?
On you say you picked up a couple of games, but
I think I just picked up one. Actually, and I look at it now, and it's really more of a. Let's just call this a sleeper, possibly.
Those are Tokyo.
Yeah, I didn't draft that. I picked that up later. And I picked it up because I was like, like I said, I told you when we were talking about it, that this is either going to be a Death Stranding, misunderstood awesome piece, or it's going to be some crazy lollipop chainsaw, 70 on Metacritic or so, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Maybe even 69.
That was so good. It was terrible, but it was great.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole deal. How will they score? So anyway, that was.
Well, we need to remind the players here that they need to.
They don't need to, but they just need to be vigilant. I mean, they could vigilant. Excuse me, and they could be waiting for more announcements, right? So I get it. Yeah. But I do need to remind this fool to drop the freaking Suicide Squad. I know he's waiting for.
Well, he's gotta step on his game because he has the same points that I have, but in negative.
Exactly. That's a 26-point swing. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway,
don't worry. Next week, we're gonna see who takes the lead.
Let me see.
I'm not on the board ever.
Oh, he also went with Stranger of Paradise. Damn, these are all picks from the heart. You can't make picks from the heart, man.
That could be something. Evidently, from what?
Oh, the Chaos game? No, see, I have my doubts, sir.
Yeah, I also have my doubts. To be honest with you, but
that was also my cross. That was almost my cross pick. Almost, but. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the freaking mouthful radar.
Yes. That's not what the mouthful.
Elden Ring comes out February 25th, which is next Friday. Coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox, all the Xboxes, all the PlayStations, and a PC.
Finally, this is the reason why next week you guys are not getting a podcast. Yes, we're announcing it here.
Like last week, apparently, but whatever.
So anyway, Elden Ring.
Oh man,
11 out of 10.
Nailed it. Yes, 11 out of 10. We already called it. Another game that's coming out. This is actually an expansion, but I'm going to include it here anyway, just in case, because I'm sure there are plenty of Destiny players. Destiny 2: The Witch Queen comes out February 22nd for PlayStation 5, Xbox SS. All right, I'm going to just do it this way: all the Xboxes, all the PlayStations, a Stadia if you happen to have one, and PC.
Well, that makes it sound like it's going to OG Xbox also, and OG.
Well, if you guys sort it out, guys.
Then this podcast is not for you.
Exactly. And then the last one is more of a highlight because I feel like I won't pull the trigger on this, but I'm curious because of obviously what it's aping, and that is the game I mentioned to you, which is Monarch. Comes out also February
Oh
22nd,
yeah, I
which is
saw reviews.
clearly a Persona wannabe. Uh,
Mhm.
and coming to PlayStation 4, 5, Switch, and PC. Not for Xbox, unfortunately, but at least not now.
I hope nobody picked this one up on their fantasy lineup because they gave it a 6, and that was a joke.
Oh, okay. So we already got some reviews on it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, never mind. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
know we
know,
had reviews already, so that's why I was like, oh,
I just saw while we were on the break.
oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Damn. So somebody, okay. Well, we'll see, because sometimes it's a lot of those
yeah, it can be just one.
yeah, shock. What do you call that? A shock review or hot take or something like that. And it's like, all
Uh-huh.
right, well, we'll see. Yeah, yeah.
Everybody else is 9 and 10s, and IGN just gave it a 6.
Yeah. What the hell is that about? They do the same thing the other way around, so why not, right?
Yeah,
Uh, all right, guys. So that is our mouthful games radar. Now we will, of course, go into our hot topic of the week.
I have a question before we go to the hot topic.
Well done, sir. I like how you did that. What's up?
That is, if you see something strange in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
who you gonna call?
Oh, Ghost Smashers.
Ah, Ghost Smashers. Let's not look that up on Google with safe search off. The less we hear about Ghost Smashers, the better. As a fact, we're not endorsing Ghost Smashers.
For the record, sir, that actually was a sneaker, the Reebok Ghostbusters Ghost Smasher sneakers.
Really? I did not know that. I did not know that.
See,
Oh shit!
you
I
don't
need
have to
that.
turn off your
safe
I mean, I
search.
don't know if that, but you don't have. Yeah, you don't have to turn off. I mean, I
was
don't know.
already
It could
that
possibly bring up something else worse, but who knows?
Pornhub.com/Ghost Smashers
Wow.
and enter.
Oh. Oh.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Let's get out of this before the cookies let people know what I
Where you were
mean.
in? Oh yeah,
Yes, wait a
yeah.
minute.
Get out of that quick. Get out of that quick.
Ghost. No, seriously. What happens when I search for Ghost Smasher? I want to see. No, I want to see that those sneakers. Oh,
The
there you
sneakers.
go.
Oh yeah.
There it is. 200. No, they're commanding $350 on eBay right now.
Oh, I can believe it. Sir. There's a market for sneakers out there, but anyway, obviously, who are you going to call? Really, is the Ghostbusters, sir? The Ghostbusters.
That's right.
That's who you end up calling. Yes. So this is going to be our review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. We'll keep it non-spoilery up front, and then dive deep into spoilers, and of course we'll give a warning there. But we also want to talk a little bit, kind of give a little retrospective of the franchise itself. And sir, I'm going to throw it over to you first and foremost.
Yes.
How are you? What's your relationship to? What's your history with the Ghostbusters
The
franchise?
Ghostbusters?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
well, I'm glad. Yeah, this was a movie that my dad took me to watch on the movie theater because he happened to really like the song by Ray Parker Jr.
By Ray Parker.
So
That's awesome.
he loved songs actually from Billy Ocean also, but for some reason he thought Billy Ocean saw Ghostbusters, and even though that was not the case, the song got to him. So
Okay.
you know how they say, the rhythm is gonna get you. So
And sometimes it does, yeah.
so of course when I was a kid, I was kind of terrified of this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? Okay.
There were some scenes that were because I was never a kid that was into watching like horror movies or anything
Scary
like that.
shit? Okay.
Yeah. So this one, obviously, this is a comedy. This is not horror, but it had some imagery that will haunt me at night. So
I'm guessing
can
the
watch
Ghost Librarian, right?
Ghost Librarian was definitely there. Yes. Ghost Librarian, but also the dogs. Also
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Zool and
but
whoever the other one
anything
was.
with red eyes will freak me out. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But and the possessions and shit was also kind of scary. But anyway, it's funny that you asked because I just happened to have watched this movie yesterday.
Which one? Ghostbusters? The first one?
The first one, yes.
Yes, dude. Respect. Respect.
What
Respect. I was gonna do the same thing. I just had
yesterday.
no time in my week in order to do it. But I can tell you now that I know you've done it. I am definitely fucking doing it. So, well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah. It and it's great because, um, I'm not a huge movie rewatcher. Even even movies that I really like. Well, I'm not gonna say because my favorite movies I will rewatch, but movies that I really like, I'll probably watch it like or catch it on TV or something like that. But I will not sit down and just play it again. So it was funny how much of the original Ghostbusters movie I was getting like yesterday, as soon as yesterday, even though it is a simple story and obviously and I knew I knew the main plot lines, but lines from the movie that are said, um or little details that have happened, they have new context, and maybe that new context was actually instigated by the fact that the new movie Afterlife tends to reference those.
All
So
the references, yes.
yes, all the
We
references,
won't talk about it yet. We're talking about you're still in the
all the
retrospective.
references. Yeah, totally. But this is a movie that there's a lot of people consider Ghostbusters to be like an ultimate cinematography gem. Not maybe not that way. Maybe
Oh.
maybe more like in the sense of a quintessential classic movie that you need that you have to have on your library of watch movies that you need to have. I agree that you should actually watch Ghostbusters, and this is me talking a person that have never seen other movies that are held in that high regard, like fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark, and or any of the Rocky movies that are not Rocky 4, 5, and Creed. um, but and it's a movie that a lot of people say, oh yeah, this movie like it is still funny to this day. It holds up very well. I'm gonna disagree a little bit on that side. I don't think that it necessarily, like, it's amusing, yes, and it's still a great piece to watch today. Like, my wife really loved it, even though she has seen it before. But like, I feel like yesterday was kind of like the first time she's seeing it with like consciousness of like everything that's happening, like trying
The
to
history?
really follow it more than just, more than just like, oh, it's playing on the TV and let's just have it in the background and listen to it more and not really paying attention. um so I have mixed feelings. Like, I like the movie. I don't think necessarily like
Wait,
a
what are we
newcomer,
talking about?
for
Are we talking about
example.
the old one or the new one?
The old one, the
Oh,
old
okay,
one.
okay.
So we're not talking about the new one yet.
Okay, yeah.
So on the old one, if you haven't watched it, it's I feel like it's still a movie of its time. And watching it now in 4K, which I thought, or whatever was that, I don't necessarily think it's the type of movie that super holds
That holds up.
test of time. Yeah. It's
Gotcha,
still
gotcha.
amusing though, and it's still and the acting is great, especially Bill Murray, obviously making a lot of his, having fun with the character.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. For me, sir, I hold Ghostbusters, the original, up on a pedestal that it probably is too high. I have watched Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. I mean, countless times. All
right.
I own the video cassette back when we still had video cassettes. DVD when we moved to DVD, and I still have the dual set on DVD. And I have not made my way to do so, but I can tell you now that the next time I do watch Ghostbusters will be digitally, and it will most likely be a digital purchase. Um,
Mm.
I just absolutely love the film. I get it though; it is a product of its time. I watched it at its time, and pretty much every year since, almost, So to me, it's never lost its appeal because I've just always watched. It's just that movie is lightning in a bottle, and I even think that I don't even think they knew what they had when they made it, because I'm pretty sure that this was meant to be another goofball comedy that Bill Murray had already done a lot of at this point. Did you ever see the movie Stripes?
No.
No. So this is a real quick. Stripes is a goofball comedy. It includes Harold Ramis. It includes who played Egon. It includes Bill Murray, obviously, a couple other John Candy and all this. They go into the military and they but it's a goofball comedy in the military where all he wants to do is get with that girl and whatever, which is a lot of the comedies of the 80s, for the record. And
Yes.
that's what this was. But they made something so special for its time that it launched something they didn't even think would happen, because the movie budget wasn't very big. The movie, they didn't expect it to do what it did, and it just, again, it became this thing that now we have a franchise of after all these years. So yes, I absolutely love this film. Ghostbusters 2, I don't know, did you ever see Ghostbusters 2?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And Ghostbusters 2 was a movie that I also enjoyed quite a bit, although obviously much less so than the original ones. The original one, sorry.
The original one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Although
that
I
one.
can say original ones because there was a Ghostbusters movie prior to the Ghostbusters that we were referencing to. It's just such an old movie that neither of us has watched it. Surprised you haven't.
It was black and white with yes, I did see that. I actually saw it with my mom.
There you go.
Yeah, I did see that one. What is his name? I'm trying to think of the name of the actor on there. But anyway, yeah, I did see that one.
Brando. No, I'm kidding.
No, I think it was Old Blue Eyes. What's his name? Frank Sinatra. I think Frank Sinatra or somebody like that. Anyway,
really?
I think so. Don't quote me on that, people. I just know it was black and white. It was it wasn't called Ghostbusters, but it was kind of what it was leaning from.
Right.
But I did see that with my
it was
mom.
called Ghost Smashers.
No, Smackers or something like that. I don't remember what it's called.
Ghost Smackers.
I don't remember. Don't quote me on this.
It almost sounds like if the Ghostbusters franchise would, like, believe it or not, this is how delirious I was yesterday when I hadn't, like, I couldn't eat anything I couldn't have any solids for the entire day. So I was delirious last night, and it probably had something to do with watching Ghostbusters again. And it had me thinking of, okay, what kind of world would be a Ghostbusters where the franchise, not the movie franchise, but the actual Ghostbusters franchise in that universe would have been very successful. Obviously, they will have like different locations around the U.S. On every state, or will it be a state thing? Will it be a state control thing where we have the Coast Guard, we have the civil defense or whatever, and we have the Ghostbusters, the paranormal unit, the FBI and the paranormal unit. So my mind started wondering, like, okay, how would that world look like, and then what if it's a private entity? You have the original Ghostbusters, and then you have others that other companies that try to do the same thing, basically. Like eliminate
the no frills ones.
And I started thinking of names, and I couldn't come up with good names for those other franchises. I was trying to see it in the eyes of pest extermination companies, right? They different have, got Terminator, you have Roland, whatever.
Ghost Terminators.
Ghost Terminators, that's a good one. Yes, there you go.
That's possible.
Ghost Terminator. It could be stuff like that, and that shit got me to sleep.
Oh, there you go.
It was a
That's
good
a
way of
great.
going. It was a good. So Ghost Smasher sounds like another copy franchise.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
pretty sure that wasn't it. I will
then
look.
that's
I will look into it because I can't. I was actually looking it up now as you're speaking. And I'm just like I can't find. I keep finding those stupid sneakers.
the
It's
sneakers.
like no, that's not it. But anyway, so yeah,
Right.
Ghostbusters 2. I think yeah, I agree. I do enjoy Ghostbusters 2 because I love the characters.
Yeah.
But I think it was clearly a product of its own popularity,
Yeah, he was
and at
trying to
that point,
catch lightning in a bottle again,
twice,
man.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and it just couldn't do it.
No.
But I still enjoy it. Whenever I do watch the first one, I tend to watch the second one right afterwards. So maybe I'll do that
Mm,
rewatch as well. Had a lot of Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was in it, and he had a lot of the music in
Bobby Brown.
it. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that, and it was great. That song, that Bobby Brown song from that movie was phenomenal. Was fantastic. I loved
Yeah,
it.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I also watched that one in the movie theaters. Believe it or not.
Oh, okay. I saw
Yeah.
that one in high school. My high school in the Bronx had a like this. They call it the GO program. I don't know what GO stood for, but G.O.
Oh.
And it was basically something that every so often we had a huge auditorium with a big screen, and so basically the
Uh-huh.
auditorium became a movie theater. And that they were able to. I
Wow.
saw that movie, Ghostbusters 2, and I saw Rocky 4 there. I don't know how or
Oh
why.
wow.
Parents
Nice.
obviously have to sign off on this to allow it to happen. And yeah, that's where I saw Ghostbusters 2 for the first time. And
Wow.
yeah,
Nice.
it's so crazy. So yeah, I agree. I enjoy Ghostbusters 2. And this of course brings us to the troubled 2016 Ghostbusters,
Oh no. Oh
which
no.
I know neither of us really want to go back
I was
down. But
I was hoping that we were gonna skip right past that. Just like,
it's a retrospective, and we kind of just at least need to mention it.
well, we should mention then that there for the longest time, Dan Aykroyd and I believe Howard Ramis also
Oh yeah.
wanted to
Hmm.
make Ghostbusters 3.
Yes,
Like there was an idea of it.
there were
There was even
so many ideas.
a script allegedly called Ghostbusters Go to Hell.
Oh, okay.
That's supposedly, yeah, that was supposedly
That was one of the names, one of the
yeah,
working titles.
maybe, yeah. And but I don't know what was it that caused it to, that it didn't materialize, and I don't know the story of it.
I do know of one person who he was a director, not any
Mm.
of the directors who've done it. He like it kept falling apart, and he went on Twitter and just gave his like pitch for the movie that he wanted to do. And it's very similar
Oh,
to what you had mentioned. It was an
oh.
excellent pitch, and I was just like, I don't know how to do this. Is there a GoFundMe? Is there some sort of Kickstarter? Because
You
this
should
pitch
totally.
works, and I want in on it.
Yes.
The movie starts with, as with most movies, right? They start with that little cold intro where you just kind of figure like it's something happens and it kind of leads into the events of the film.
Mhm.
The cold intro is of a specific person, kind of heavy set, working at a factory, ends up dying in a bad way or something like that. A guy who loves to eat and all this stuff,
Mhm.
and little by little, it leads to the fact that this was who Slimer was when he was still alive.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, whoa, okay. And then it
That
then it
would have been
cuts
amazing.
and then it cuts to present day. Present day Ghostbusters is actually a worldwide corporation that is unfortunately not as successful, it's struggling as a corporation because, well, since we're everywhere, ghosts are there are less and less ghosts to take out, whatever,
Right.
And
They're
so
cannibalizing themselves, basically.
correct, yeah. And so there's this off branch of Ghostbusters, let's just say in I don't know, in Cincinnati or whatever like that. And
The
these
Ghost
guys,
Smashers.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, they're the Ghostbuster franchise, but they figure out a plan to say, hey, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring back Vigo or Gozer or one of the two. We're gonna bring back one
Uh,
of the other ones because when they come back, a lot of ghosts come back, and then boom, we're in need again.
mm,
You know what I mean? They're gonna need us. The world will need us again.
Oh
And of course
wow.
they do so, and of course shit doesn't work out, and the old Ghostbusters have to come back to help on it because obviously they have history on it, but they also bring in the new crew. You know what I mean? And the new crew is it. This obviously sets up the franchise to continue further. And dude, he did that in like obviously you can only fit 140 characters in tweets. He did like in
Uh-huh.
4 or 5 tweets, like continuous tweets, just kind of giving his
Oh
pitch. And I was
wow.
like, dude, I want in. Do it.
Yeah, it sounds
You know what I mean?
awesome.
And so yes, so to kind of piggyback what you're saying, yes, they've been trying to get Ghostbusters 3 off the ground for forever.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, what it led to was a complete reboot of which ended up being 2016's Ghostbuster,
Mm.
which was a disaster as far as I'm concerned. And no, I'm going to get out in front of this and say it has nothing to do with the fact that it was women. No, it had to
No.
do with poor writing, poor directing,
Mm.
and some overacting. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that's why that movie to me was a disaster. And we both saw it in the theater, you know,
Yes, we went
together, you know,
together.
and
And
walked
you
out.
knew
Yeah,
all along you were saying this is not gonna be a good movie. It's not gonna be a good movie. And I knew in my heart of hearts, but I wanted to believe. I wanted to because it was Ghostbusters. It was it was the next thing to back in back in those days, how we will feel about watching, about the next Star Wars being announced,
yeah, yeah.
or maybe subjectively a little less, but still that feeling of, oh, I just want more of this franchise. But of course, you saw that trailer, and like the writing was on the wall. Like in retrospect, like we should have
We should
known.
have known.
I
Yeah,
was still curious though, because
yeah,
he was still they were still branding it very con cojones. They were
yeah,
still
yeah.
branding it
Like it
as
was like, dude, you need to see this
Ghostbusters.
movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
This is Ghostbusters. No, this is not. Yeah, this is Ghostbusters, not Ghostbusters 2016. No, the the I don't know. They were calling it the exact same name as the 1984 film, and that just felt bad.
yeah.
That
It did.
was that
It
was
did.
not right.
But there's nothing you can say. A lot of parties were involved. Dan Aykroyd, Ray Stantz was still well. He didn't play Ray Stantz, but he was in it.
Yeah,
Actor who played
you know,
Winston, he was in it, and I believe Bill Murray was also in it as well. So you still had the
yeah.
blessing, if you will, of the original cast on this. Um, did they know it was going to come out that way? Do they even like the movie? I don't know.
Did they
I
even
think this movie.
care that it was gonna be there was gonna be that? Because you can have the. I mean, you pay an actor, they'll do
Oh, dude, no.
whatever they want.
Bill Murray was completely against. He's been saying that's actually the biggest delay because
Mm,
he never wanted to come back after Ghostbusters 2. He realized no, we're not coming back to it because he I guess he was not 100% on board with Ghostbusters 2, and he did it,
mm,
and it proved to be not the major thing that it was the first one was, and it's like no, there's no reason to go back to it. It's not
right. There's
whatever,
no reason.
and he held off for at this point, as you can tell, decades. You know what I mean? And I guess at some point, if you're not working anywhere else, at some
Yeah.
point you need something. And so yeah, he came back around on that. So anyway, not sticking much on that movie. It was I just I in short probably hate the movie. And I don't hate
No.
movies. You know what I mean? But I in short probably hate the movies.
It was.
And
I believe that there was the guy that does the character of an angry video game nerd.
yeah,
Um, I don't remember his name now. Actually, I'm sorry, dude, but I think he said it best. Where like he knew, like he's a very big fan of the Ghostbusters franchise. Like to him, it's this franchise that is special, just like the way you described it. And he knew all along that this movie, that that reboot, that 2016 reboot wasn't wasn't looking great, and he just actively decided to not watch it. I was
well,
like, well, no, I just I'm not gonna review it. I'm not gonna have opinions on it because honestly, I'm not even gonna waste my time watching it. And I thought that was a very bold thing to bold statement to take. You
So
know,
yeah, yeah.
to
Mhm.
to decide to like completely ignore it, not even be curious of well, how bad could it be? Let me count the ways.
Yeah, evidently, yeah, yeah. There's no there are no limits to bad.
There's
Yeah,
no limit to how.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly I've like weighed to watch. I said maybe I'll watch it again after all these years. I
Mm.
can find of something of worth, something of value in it, and I just can't come around to doing it. I can't come around doing it.
No,
So
no. It was very extremely disappointing, extremely disrespectful also to the franchise. And again, such a shame because I liked the idea of having an all women's cast. Like, why not? Like, I have
yeah,
no problem with that.
absolutely.
It's not trying to be the sequel to Ghostbusters. It's trying to be its own thing, you know. And who knows? They could have made, but then again, what is comedy nowadays? Nowadays
Don't ask me because I don't know.
it's just trying to do that overacting formula that I don't even know how to describe it, but it's not
It's an
hilarious.
improvisational script. That's the problem.
Mm,
The original. So first off, you look at the original. The original had Dan Aykroyd, you had Bill Murray, you had these guys who were on SNL, who
mm,
knew improvisational comedy when they needed it, But the movie had a solid script.
right.
Sure, is there going to be improvisation involved? Of course. You have Bill Murray. He's going to just do that. This is what he does.
Yeah.
So, will you use certain scenes? Sure, then do it. But you still have that solid script. In the 2016, you had
Mhm.
Paul Feig, who has already made several movies this way, where you have an outline of where things are, what needs to do, where we're going to be at, why we're here, and stuff like that. When we get there, you have an idea of what the conversation is going to be about, but then you just have them go off rails and
Mhm.
record it all. And then you pick the best parts and make it part of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's what you're forcing the improvisation. And it's like, no, you got to have an actual script. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then they can improvise on the script, not just improvise out of thin air. What the, you know what I mean? And that's what it felt like, that they were improvising out of thin air. And it was like, scenes like that just went on and on. It's just, and that's Paul Feig. I don't like Paul Feig. Sorry. I don't
Yeah.
like the guy as a director. And I don't care how much clams he likes. And the fact that he's from Boston, he's probably a New England fan, and that's probably why I don't like him. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're leaving 2016 alone. We're now going into the present, and it is time to talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Sir,
Yes, sir.
how are you feeling about the newest entry into the franchise of the Ghost Smashers? Ghostbusters.
uh, hmm. Well, I think people should watch it. I definitely think people should watch it because it is it. I don't think it's a great movie, but I think it's an entertaining one, and I certainly like me and my wife actually. I think my wife enjoyed it even more than than I did, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Uh, did it felt like a Ghostbusters movie? Probably. I mean, yeah, like it obviously was a Ghostbusters movie, but it wasn't. It wasn't the humor, the tone
No, yeah.
of
This
the
was a little more serious, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
And not serious, just a little more serious, yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it was definitely. I would say it was definitely a different, a very different tone, and it's kind of expected because I don't know what a Ghostbusters actual 3 will be like with the way that we do movies now. You know what I mean? It's almost gonna feel like you look at Star Wars, you know, the New Hope, and then you look at one of the newer Star Wars, and it almost feels like they have, in order to capture the tone of the old movies, they sort of have to follow the formula too close, you know.
Too close indeed. Yes.
And if they divert from it too much, then it just becomes this this
Yeah,
thing
it
that
goes off
people can
rails.
get.
It becomes
Yeah, people.
2016 Ghostbusters. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, that will be the extreme, but you know, at the very least, it becomes controversial. Um, I feel this Ghostbusters. I don't feel like it necessarily will be controversial in the sense of I don't think people will be offended in any way. I think they picked up, and I realize we're not talking spoilers here yet.
Yeah.
So, um, but I feel like they picked up a, I wouldn't call it. It's definitely less goofy than Ghostbusters, but I wouldn't necessarily call it serious either. I would say it was more. It was definitely contemporary because obviously, you know, that's a safe thing to say. So never mind that. It was
Well,
definitely.
I was
Well,
gonna say
I'm,
I don't mean serious and serious. It's just a little more serious than the original one.
right,
Yes.
right, right. It's not because the original one was definitely goofy.
Goofy,
Like that.
exactly. Yeah. It was a
Yeah, there was.
goofball comedy. That's what it was meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And this one is not going for that. It's going for a different type of comedy. It's very reminiscent of what we were just talking about it, the Stranger Things kind of
Right.
in that sense where it's the kids and their interaction that give you the humor side, not just strictly the kids, but for the most part it's falling on them. So before we go into specifics, I would say that I thought it was entertaining. I liked it for what it was. I think Paul Rudd was very underutilized, though. For some reason, like I feel like I barely saw enough of him. You know,
I agree.
but again,
100%.
it was mostly it was. I guess they were focusing on the kids, and that's fine. You know, because we also don't want to make it a long movie because that's not what the Ghostbusters movie tend to be. You know.
True, yeah, and it is just a movie at that point as well, so you don't have that much time to go into things,
Right.
sir. You're absolutely right. So I think audiences, just again based on Rotten Tomatoes, so not science or anything like that, but over 5,000 reviews, and it's at a 94. Critically, critical review is at a 63. Still technically a fresh tomato. But obviously leaning on the a divisive side. So for me, I did enjoy this film. I probably enjoy this film more than I should. I recognize immediately the issues. This has the Force Awakens problem. This has every type of movie that suddenly had a thing in the past and we're bringing in the future, but we got to stick to the past and we got to make sure we have connections to it. And I don't mind the occasional connection, but this really leans too hard on its past, and I think that is to its detriment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that also. I mean, I want to say up front, this movie is good. Period. Like, no, really good. It's just good. That's the review I would give anyone who asked me. As a Ghostbusters fan, I liked it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I loved seeing some of the scenes that occurred. There's some things in it that I'm just like, oh, I kind of felt like it was going to happen. And when it happened, I was like, I almost cringed a little bit. I know. I'm not going to go into specifics, but I almost cringed a little bit. And then when it happened, I was just like, I still like it. I don't know why. Why do I still like this? It still just rang true. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm still in. I'm still in.
Yeah.
But then it does certain things where it's just like, oh, oh no, this is now we're leaning into the Rise of the Skywalker, and I was like, oh,
Oof.
no, why are we going this
Oof.
route? So real quick, so overall,
Mm,
I think I really like this movie probably more than it actually deserves. I feel people who are not Ghostbusters fans are going to be a little bit. You're actually going to be on two of it because I really feel that this is more for people who never saw the original Ghostbusters. And I'm
oof.
curious if anybody has an opinion on that and wanted to share into
Mm.
the group, because I feel this is for you. For someone who knows the history of Ghostbusters, I feel like this is cool. It's a really cool intro to a new story, but it holds too much onto the past. And as someone who knows it, it's like,
I don't
So
know if I can subscribe to that to that idea though,
which
because
one?
I
Which one?
feel like you're saying that this is for that this feels more targeted towards people that have not seen
The
the
original.
original one.
Yeah, I
I
feel like it is.
I have to
Or
disagree.
for fans. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. For diehard fans and for people who
Mhm.
don't. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. You're right. I see where you're going
Oh,
with that, and you're
yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah, diehard fans will definitely love this because there is enough callbacks for anyone to be giddy when it comes
right.
to seeing them.
It feels
Or
like
for people,
it feels like a proper sequel that maybe not that amazing script that you described before, but
along those
it
routes.
feels like a proper,
Mhm.
yeah, it feels like a
Yeah.
proper, you know
Yeah.
yeah, proper
I
send off.
do. Before we get into spoilers, I do want to give some shout outs here, sir.
Okay.
Freaking Phoebe is awesome. Okay, I
It was
have
a
to give
it
props
was
where props are due.
yes,
I wanted every scene to include her.
yes, it
Phoebe
was
plays the young
phenomenal.
girl in the film.
Yeah.
Uh, Podcasts. I wasn't sure how I feel about podcasts
That's a
at first.
character, guys.
Yeah.
That's a kid.
The podcast is the name of the character.
That's the name. That's
He
his nickname,
His
basically.
nickname, yeah. And I wasn't sure about him at first, and then I just wanted every scene to have him too as
Yeah,
well.
he was
Those two
good.
right there, they literally carry the film. I
Yeah.
agree. Paul Rudd is probably a little underutilized.
Mhm.
Every scene that he's in, I'm like, just like, yes, I want more Paul Rudd. You know what I mean? He's
But you
just
don't get enough.
you don't, yeah.
And it's like
Um,
he's like, okay, he is Paul Rudd is. I feel like he's. I don't know if this is good or bad, but he feels like his character. He has one character, and that character
yes,
is Paul Rudd, and
yes,
he will play that character on at least the couple of movies that I can and the series that I saw him in, which was Friends. That is the character that he will play. I haven't seen him on anything else. I don't know his range. I honestly, you could probably talk, say better to that, but every time I think of Paul Rudd is gonna be like an appearance, I think like, oh, okay, so I know the type of character he's gonna play, or I think I know, and yep, and that's
yeah.
exactly what he
I
plays.
agree. He is great. And then his name is Gruberson, Gary Gruberson. What the
Gary
hell?
Gruberson, yeah,
It's like you're just destined to be a
Gary
dud somewhere. I
Gruberson.
don't know. And then that's it. I don't want to spoil anything from there. I just wanted to give a shout out to particularly Phoebe because, like I said, take her and put somebody else in those shoes that's not as not as good at it, and the movie
Mhm.
actually suffers. She is really, really good, and credit goes to her. So,
Yeah.
any final thoughts, sir, before we go into spoilers?
I wanted to touch on which is one of the things I didn't like about the movie, and first of all, it's a Ghostbusters movie. I feel like there was a severe lack of ghosts
Of
in this
Ghost.
movie. It was like, what the hell? Like, where is the they do show one goofy looking ghost, it's supposed to be like a one eye thing, and like that was it. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, and then the stakes, although described as apocalyptically high, they felt incredibly low and mundane. It's
Yeah.
like, which is the reason why this movie. I mean, it had to deliver something, right? It had to deliver on the rest, and I would say yes. I would say a good portion of the points is on Phoebe, on her character, not because she was like particularly like hilarious or funny or anything like that. It was more that her character was very understood,
Yes. A
um
well developed character.
yeah, yeah,
She had yeah. Mhm.
but at the same time, I feel like some of the writing here was weird, man. It's like some people, like on the original Ghostbusters, you see for the most part, the people reaction to paranormal activity
Right,
is
right,
more
yes.
legitimate
And the
than
kids, for the most,
here.
it's everyone really, for the most part, is like, oh, so this is just a thing. People are just okay with this, even
Are
though,
you? Yeah,
yeah, from the trailer, for the record, even
right.
though from the trailer you can tell kids don't know what happened in 1984. You know what I mean? They had to kind
Mhm.
of be caught up on that. So it's like you guys seem to be just
Yes,
cool with what the hell's going on.
too
Yeah.
ballsy with that. I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. Right now, that it is 100% my reaction. If I'm suddenly in this office and I don't know, playing Elden Rings, and suddenly I start seeing my glasses like rising up and floating in front of me, that's it, man. I no longer live in this house. I will no longer live in this house. I will no longer live in fucking Florida. And you will probably have to commit it because I will go insane. Mike, if I see such a level of paranormal and something as stupid as that, let alone I hear a noise and I'm gonna fucking follow to see what was it, when all intended purposes I already saw that something was floating in front of me. Like the reaction of the characters to the paranormal activity was way too casual and nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
There's an
okay.
explanation for one character, and I'm like, okay, well, at least they gave the explanation. But everybody's just like, yeah, they're
Yes.
just like, oh, I guess it's just. I mean, they are concerned, but they're not
Mhm.
running for the hills because, as I would be, I'd be
Mhm.
running for the hills. Like,
Right.
nope, nope, we're out of Somerville, guys. It's been nice knowing you guys, and let me know how the apocalypse goes.
Yeah, yeah.
you know, so
Exactly. Let me know everything. Like you remember Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, it had those moments where it was, I was going to say the whole world, but in reality, it's more like a city. A city, New York was, all in all, this was something that was happening. There were high stakes, and Ghostbusters needed to do something in order to prevent this catastrophe that it had world-ending implications. This one, it also supposedly has world-ending implications, but it just felt like the last part of the movie. It was all right, but again, it was not. It didn't feel like the sky was falling and everybody, even though even with
even
the
though the
things
sky
that
was
were
falling,
happening in the town,
yeah, yeah.
it's supposed to be like a sleepy town in the middle of nowhere, and I get that, but even
Yeah, but
there,
people still weren't reacting to like what we
yes,
saw, and it was just like
there
going
should
back
be
to
like
the original
military
Ghostbusters.
and people, and there should be like
Yes,
helicopters and
the
stuff like that.
mayor should be. We needed scenes with the mayor and the
The
sheriff
mayor,
to be saying, "Okay, what
exactly.
are we doing here? Where do we go? I've never seen this before."
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like we had
no.
in the original Ghostbusters. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. What were you gonna
Uh,
say about the going back to the original? You had a comment. I
Oh
interrupted
no, I'm
you.
saying going back to the original. That's what they did.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had the mayor, right, and it became a
Mhm.
joke by the time you got the second one. Lenny, hey, when the freaking guy comes in, and all you
Yeah.
had here was a sheriff, and you had the smallest scene for the sheriff too, by the way,
Yes.
and but no, I was well, we'll go into spoilers in that, but
Mhm.
yeah, it just you're right. It looked like the ghost picked the perfect town to do this because no one was reacting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
no
how,
one care.
or no one was reacting how normal folk would actually react.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
sir.
no
Let's
worry about no river of slime, no like crazy.
the river of
Like there
slime.
was
Love
so
it.
many missed opportunities that's the part where I feel like it falls apart. Uh, that is it's not the full Ghostbusters experience.
Mhm.
It feels way too toned down for what it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I
Everything
feel
was
like we should.
more curious than it
Mm,
was, and again, depending on the character, I would say, okay, I get it, because you have whatever explanation of it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, when you see certain things like that, I don't know. I agree. I feel like at some point you would be a little more freaked out. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
I would be insane. I would I do
I agree.
an asylum. I would be if I see something floating. Like that's it. That's it. My entire belief system will be broken. It's like I will
I know how
I'll
you
be
feel.
shocked. I'll be shocked. I'll
I know
be
how you feel.
yes, yeah, yeah. I feel like we should go into final
We're
score
going.
before we
Yeah,
go.
we're going to. Oh, final score.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Okay.
give us because some people might not want to hear
Oh, right,
past
right,
this
right.
part.
So for okay, well, for me, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna go with 3.5. I thought it was really good. Again, caveat: this is coming from a Ghostbusters fan who
Mm,
was excited about a lot of the callbacks, disappointed by some of the others.
mm,
I thought it had a great first half. I felt like it fell apart a little bit on the second half, maybe more than a little bit. Strong performances on the character of Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace. Love podcast because I just feel like he's just too hilarious. Paul
mhm.
Rudd is a national treasure, and I feel he needs to be in more movies doing what he does here. And yeah, 3.5. I really liked it.
All right. I'm gonna go a little bit more with a two. Sorry, a three. Sorry.
It's
A
just,
three.
thank God this
Uh,
isn't a gun.
no. I know,
Just
right?
going off like, oh.
Holy shit. No, it's not. It's definitely not a two. And I don't think it's a 2.5. Although, if you have no affiliation to Ghostbusters, then yes, this movie will be a two or a 2.5 to you. Just for the just because of the things that I described, that it feels like not stakes was supposed to be like very high, didn't feel high enough, and also the impactful things that should actually get you excited or move you or whatever, it's not gonna stick to you because you were never a Ghostbusters fan.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
on my part, I'm gonna give you a three. I'm gonna give it a three. I thought it was good. I like we already discussed. I love the character of Phoebe. Um, the and podcast in particular, those two. The kid from Stranger Things. I don't. Where is he from?
Oh, yeah, he's from Stranger Things. He was also in It, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like I like
Yeah,
that
I
was a character that I feel like that was a wasted opportunity there. Also, just like I
yeah.
feel the same with Paul Rudd. I feel like he was underutilized.
Well, from
Uh,
there, you stretch outwards, and you have a lot of wasted characters, from
yeah,
Lucky
yeah,
to
yeah.
the mom to yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't I don't particularly I don't have that strong affection for Paul Rudd necessarily. I don't mind him, but like I
You're
don't
a
think he's
hater.
a
I
national
got it. Yeah.
treasure. I don't think I need him playing his
I'll have
same
you know that he
character.
was 2021 sexiest man alive. Just throwing that out there,
Oh,
sir.
well,
There you
good,
go.
but I'm not gonna dispute that. But no, but I at first I thought it was a little strange to find him here. Then I thought it was gonna be like okay, I don't hate the idea of him because Ghostbusters was kind of goofy. He is kind of goofy. This could actually end up working out. The problem is it didn't feel like it mixed that well, you know. And in the movie, it was like, yes,
He was the
the
goofiness that the movie didn't have,
yeah,
and I think in some scenes it works, and in other ones it's like, no.
just got a little it felt a little flat,
Yeah.
but yeah, but at the end of the day, I ended up leaving satisfied with the whole thing. And to say more will be to go into spoilers, so I think this will be as
A
good
perfect,
time
yeah,
as
perfect
to
transition to
go
spoilers.
into the red
So we
alert
are,
spoiler mode.
yeah, yeah,
No,
spoilers
yeah,
from
that's not
here
a.
on.
It's wah, wah, wah.
Okay, yes. Spoilers from this point forward for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and if you hear anything from here and you're upset, we don't care.
It's on you
Sir,
because we already told you about it.
exactly.
Unless you skip our warning, in which case I told you not to skip anything.
Yeah, why are you skipping? I mean,
Why are you
that's your own
skipping?
fault again. The finger really goes back to you. Sir, I'm going to start off with saying this, and I'm going to pose it as a question.
Okay.
What the hell was the point of the little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
I know, right?
I
That
was,
was, and just we saw that on the trailer, on a second
yeah,
trailer.
it's there was a scene or something like that. And I was like, even then I was just like, well,
I
that's okay. That's strange.
I
Okay, well,
mentioned it also. It felt like, okay, well, now now like there was some certain mystery to the reveal of the teaser trailer. Remember,
mhm.
and then I think that I could be wrong here, but I think I remember there was a first trailer that didn't have that, and then was the second trailer where they actually showed the mini post marshmallow man.
No, it was a clip.
No,
The
it was a
first
clip.
trailer was the teaser trailer, which was excellent. The
Uh,
second trailer had a little bit more, but did not have that scene. And then they released the clip, and the clip
oh,
had
okay, okay.
had it was basically that scene of the little marshmallow man.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was like, okay, now you're trying too hard and you didn't need to. You already had the fucking Ecto one there.
Dude,
Like
it
the-
made zero sense. And
no,
I
yeah.
think that was the point, or at least a little after that, where it was like, now we're holding on way too much to the past.
Mm,
Like just the fact that you're including Gozer, um at that point we're and this is where I have to say this is the Rise of the Skywalker moment. It's like,
yeah.
well, now we have the Emperor back. Why do we have the Emperor back? Did we need the Emperor back? um that said, it's not as bad as Rise of Skywalker, because at least they give a little inkling. Well, there's always this opportunity in every so many years for Gozer to come back, and so this is that time,
Yeah, and
right?
this is a time,
Yeah,
and it gives a little bit of explanation of, well, this is why this building in New York was this
correct. The metal,
antenna
yes.
basically
Yeah.
in this particular construction exactly.
hmm
So
Which they
yeah,
mentioned in the original too. Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't offended with bringing Gozer a Gozer back as I was bringing fucking Emperor out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No,
fuck,
I'm
fuck
just
you
I'm
again
just
or
using
whatever.
that as an example
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
holding on to the past incorrectly. But
But
no, I think it's definitely done better here than it was in fucking Rise of
yeah,
Skywalker.
yeah. But you know that it's this stupid fucking idea of maybe our movie will be such a hit that we should that there's gonna be merchandising opportunities, and who wouldn't want a lovable small Stay Puft Marshmallow man.
I
It's like
guess,
it's
yeah.
the perfect gift for the Ghostbuster fan.
I
I mean, so much
mean,
so
the
you see
problem is
at the end of the credit they actually have the symbol, the logo, but with the fucking Smashmallow
the marshmallow.
man,
Oh,
which
right,
is
right, yeah.
it's so dumb.
It
It's such
is.
a
It's
stupid
pointless.
thing.
It's clear. So again, and it happens twice in the film,
Mhm.
which really is. It's like, okay, at least the first time they're near their bags of marshmallow, right?
Right.
The second time, why are they suddenly in the car? Where did they come from that they're in
There
the
goes.
Ecto One?
They could be. I don't
No,
know.
that's what I'm saying. It was just like there was no connection to have
No, there
them
was not.
there.
There was not. There was
And
not.
the only reason was, well, we need the kid podcast to come out full of Marshmallow because we need to
Oh,
call back that moment that
right,
happened. It's just like now
right.
you're
We
trying too
break it.
hard. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't mind. Like there was some callbacks that I enjoy. Like, oh look, they're using kind of like a variation of the soundtrack. You know the thing. You know
Oh
the
no, yeah,
piano.
that was pretty. I think that was almost on point. Yeah.
Like I like that. It certainly
Dun,
felt
dun, dun,
closer
dun, dun, dun.
to
Yeah.
the original Ghostbusters than fucking 2016 was. Let it be the last time that we
Mentioned
mentioned
that one. Yes.
2016 Ghostbusters.
Keeps coming up for some reason, but yeah.
A lot of fucking horrible things happened in 2016. And one great one. I got married in 2016.
Oh,
Anyway,
there you go. Yeah.
but a lot of fucking horrible things happened in 2016 also. um, so the thing with the tiny marshmallows one is like it felt forced, and you're right, and on the second time that it shows, like it's completely out of place. Also, I already expressed my dislike of the unrealistic way in which characters react to things
Hmm.
that are happening. It
It
didn't
happened all over the
feel.
place. When
Yeah.
mom was possessed, none of them freaked out. You know
Nope.
what I mean? It's like, I mean, even when she jumped out the window, bro, when she jumped out the window, I would have been like, dude, this is some serious, like, cursed shit right here.
Yeah.
I am out. You guys tell me how this ends later. You know what I
Are
mean?
you not screaming for you? I mean, your own mom. She just got out there, and
Yeah.
yes, they try to play it out that Phoebe Phoebe is basically a female Sheldon.
No, well,
Oh,
actually, to be fair, and this is a good comparison that someone had wrote on some of the stuff that I was looking into.
mm,
Um, because she is, first off, I love the fact that she looks and feels and does so much of what Egon does. You know what I mean?
that's true. Yeah.
Um, Egon was basically the same way, and so
Yes.
the explanation of her character was, oh, you know, overstimulation calms me or something like that. And it's like,
Mm,
why? How are you not freaking out? To be fair, this was podcast asking her, and podcast wasn't really freaking out. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
yes.
you're not freaking out. Why do you think she's going to freak out? You know what I mean? That was just a line to explain why Phoebe
Why?
wasn't, but you never saw him overreacting or anything like that.
Right.
So there was a callback to the original one where uh, uh, Peter was like, Ray's gone bye bye. What have you got? And he's talking to Egon. And Egon goes, I'm terrified beyond the capacity of rational thought.
So rational thought. Yes.
Well, he's just standing there looking calm, you know?
Yes.
So it's like, you know what? I'm okay with Phoebe being this way.
That's
You know,
true.
it's like,
Yeah.
this is obviously the direct lineage of
Yeah.
Egon Spangler. And so that made sense. But you're right. For everybody else, it did not make sense.
Yeah. Also, it like like there seems to like obviously we're spoiler territory, so we can
Yes.
we can already talk freely about it. But Egan's ghost, I guess, is invisible.
Invisible. Mhm.
Uh, if it's kind of like guiding his granddaughter, I guess
Phoebe.
it would be
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
Phoebe,
Yeah.
towards little things.
Two answers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I completely blanked out on what I was actually gonna say. How bad
So
it
you were gonna
is.
say this was pretty awesome, or this was something was
No,
weird, or
it was no, it was something about it was something weird about that. Oh my god, I can't believe like he completely escaped me.
in that case, I will jump off that and say,
Yes, take it from that. Yes,
yeah,
take it from
what does it take to? So there's a difference between Egon, who obviously
Oh,
they
I
use
remember
some
now.
digitalization of Harold Ramis.
Yes.
Uh, what does one have to do in their life to become that kind of ghost versus becoming the Muncher, who obviously looks nothing like human, but I would assume it was a
Oh,
human alive at some point.
that is a very loaded question on this universe, and to try to, it's kind of one of those
You have
things
the
that you kind
guy
of
at
have to
the
accept.
yeah, you have the guy at the diner who just looks like a dead guy, who obviously
Yeah,
is a callback from one of the original film, by the way, as well. But it's just like so Egon just looks like Egon. Okay, I
Egon looks
guess
like
we'll have
Egon,
to. Yeah, yeah,
and to be fair, there's a lot of ghosts where they just look like they're human forms, even though there are other crazy ghosts that just looks like monsters from Monsters Inc. Uh, but uh, but the Egon one, yeah, you're right. He's totally when he suddenly is
manifests
corporeal.
himself. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, he is just a ghost of Egon. And it was a very touching moment to see him and all that. But what I was
Oh,
gonna
dude, I'm
say,
not gonna lie. I got misty eye. I'm gonna be
no,
honest, honest and
we'll
true
get
with
there.
you. I got misty eye. Yeah.
We'll get there. What I was gonna say before I forget again is the whole. I was that I didn't understand what was the whole thing. Why would he Egon
Mhm.
not explain to his friends and colleagues what was happening, the world, anything that he thought, and he just had to like run off with all the equipment and make it look like and just become secluded, and like why did he
Yes.
feel like that motivation make no sense?
Not only that, I to jump off that, because I think there was a line where they were like, "Oh, he started going crazy. He started talking about this and this and that, whatever." I can
Mm,
buy Peter Venkman not believing him. I can buy Winston's Zedmore not believing him.
mm.
But Ray Stantz, dude, that was
Yeah,
his ride or die. You and they ran that
yes.
store with all the dude. You're gonna tell me that he told Ray, "Hey, I believe this is happening, whatever," and Ray just brushed him off?
Yeah,
I don't believe
exactly.
that at all. That was his
Exactly.
boy. You know what I mean? And so I feel like
Like
there was something missing, or that, like you said, that was a very thin motive.
it was a very thin motive. They have experienced all this like
Yeah.
completely
Why wouldn't you
paranormal
believe him?
things,
Yeah, yeah,
and why would this not be feasible? Like
yeah.
um,
I agree.
and so much so that he has to, instead of like, again, it just looked weird the way that he just suddenly left, and as if like you can't even say, oh well, his motivation was to protect them, or maybe like there's no logical
No,
motivation
no,
for
there
his
isn't. Yeah,
action. He literally just
exactly.
took off.
He
Of
could.
course they're gonna think that he screwed them over, but again, why would they think he screwed them over if they really knew him? Like if they
Exactly.
really knew him,
Exactly.
you
I
would think that, oh
100% agree.
shit, no,
Yeah.
there's something wrong. Like if this was my, like we known each other, and this was our position, you suddenly took off with the equipment that we have worked on and with all the things. Like I'm not suddenly gonna think of you as, oh well, what a fucking jerk, I guess he was scheming all along to do this, even though we have saved the world twice, and like,
Yeah. It
no,
was
I'm
the
gonna take
motive
you
was
seriously. It's like, oh
exactly.
shit, he believes it. We need to check this out. So yeah, the motivation didn't, and that's, unfortunately, that's can only be attributed to weak writing
The
on
or
it.
not completely thought out, you know what I
Well, not
mean?
gonna be thought out
Because
exactly.
I do like the cold intro, of the whole thing that happens at the very beginning when you realize that. I don't know about you, but I realized pretty early on. I was like, oh, that's supposed to be Egon. Okay, I get it, because they
You
weren't
know
sure.
what, I didn't, and that was awesome. Also,
Yeah,
I did not.
yeah,
I knew that I figured it had to be one of the Ghostbusters, and later on, before it actually got explained, is when I realized, like, oh, that makes
yeah.
sense. That must have been Egon,
That
like, because
was
of course
because they
that's
were showing his face. That's the only reason I was like, oh, they're not showing his face. Okay,
yeah.
that's probably Egon. Okay, I get, so that was a great intro. And then what Egon did was awesome. The thing
Mhm.
at the temple with the 4 proton packs shooting down and then crossing streams and shooting downward.
Yes.
I was like, okay,
That's something that he would have done.
exactly. The problem was that they didn't fully think out how he got to that point. It's almost like they landed on that idea and it was such an awesome idea. They're like, we're doing it. But they didn't put enough thought in how did Egon get here by himself?
Right.
And that left a lot of holes in the plot because it's like, no. Again, I can buy Peter. I can buy a freaking Winston. I can't buy Ray. I cannot buy Ray. Ray was his. Those two were inseparable. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm sorry. And then when you see him and he go to hell, I'm like, what? I was just like, what did he do? And then when he explains what he does, I'm like, and you don't believe him? You know, so I was like, what is wrong with you? I'm more mad at you, Ray. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You know what I mean? Because that's, no offense to me, that's like, that's a friend who just said, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell? Who does that? So yes, that was extremely disappointing, bro. But again, I see where they were going. When you look at the again, that cold open and everything else leaves, like, oh, I can see why they wanted to get to that point, but they really need to run that script a little bit more to fill in blanks as to how that is how they got there. So
just acting
that's a perfect
outside
point,
of what they would have actually, what you would have expected them to do.
Exactly.
It's not what happened here.
That right there, if suddenly it calls into question, it's not like, I hate to use this again, but it's not like The Last Jedi where people were shocked where you know, fucking Luke Skywalker was acting the way he was at the end, because it explains it and it becomes logical. You know, it's like, yeah, I can believe that. You know what I mean? He got disheartened and figured there's nothing I can do. And he's by himself, right? Because he's just the lone surviving Jedi. So you only have yourself to go to. But he had Egon had his boys, and his boys let him down.
They just let him down. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to touch on was the clunkiness of the intro of the 3 remaining Ghostbusters. Oh, dude, that was such an awkward scene, bro. I was just like, yes. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. You know, the moment Phoebe calls Ray, and I was like, okay, so that's clearly gonna trigger them to come.
Really, you knew that? I mean, I figured Ray will.
I knew they were all in it. I knew they were all in it already. I've known that for before the movie. These guys were all involved in the film. Yeah, I
did not that. That's why the moment caught me by surprise. So much so that I didn't mind it. Like I didn't see I probably didn't see the gaping hole.
Well, I mean, the fact that they're there, that's not a gaping hole. What was it's just, you get there, you have the one line. I'm like, this is Gozer, and you guys are there, and you don't even have your proton packs. Like, you don't even have the wand in hand. You know, you're just talking smack, and I'm like, this is Gozer. Did you forget what she did? You know what I mean? And I get it because they're playing it for laughs. Okay, sure. But as they're walking, you should be taking the gun out essentially and getting it ready. And instead, it just feels like they're just standing about, and it started feeling like Glass to me. You know what I mean? The movie Glass, where, you know, you have these awkward moments where everybody's just standing around. I'm like, guys, are you gonna fight? What are we doing? We're just staring at each other here, you know. Gozer, why is she waiting? I don't understand why she's just sitting about. She could have zapped them as they were talking. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? So that was what I mean about the awkward moment. And it just felt odd. It was just like, oh, come on, you know, you could have, the intro could have been better. But credit to Phoebe, when Gozer came on top of the 3 of them, she's the one who had the gun and shot first and asked questions later. I was like, yes.
It was amazing that little girl already knew exactly how to operate a proton pack. The way that she was doing it, the way that on those there was a car chase scene, or I guess he was chasing a ghost chase scene.
Yes.
Which, all great and all, but at the same time, it's like, she became such an expert. I mean, whatever. It's at this point, it's probably a little nitpick because, of course, it's gonna be a movie. Of course, it's gonna have a moment like that. But it
I mean,
just
I think
no
there was
preparation. She was already like knew exactly what to. Not only that, she recognized all the components of one enough to repair.
that
So
was a
actually,
little,
she had
yeah,
she
yeah.
had help from
She
Ego.
did
So
have
I
help
guess
from
we
him,
can say
but the
that.
fact
Yeah.
that she recognized it and said, "Oh, this," and I was like,
Like,
"Really?"
who looks at a thing and oh,
And
that's
just
a
recognized, yeah, that's an arc reactor. What?
yeah.
How do
You're
you
like,
know that? You know what
how
the
do you
hell is
know?
that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree, but I think the progression of hers, like, she got the proton pack working because she was able to get grandfather to help her out,
mm.
and then they tested.
She was grandfathered
She was
into the
grandfathered in. Well
into
done,
the
sir.
knowing
Well done. Yeah,
the
into the
proton
Ghostbusters.
pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
They test out the proton pack. Then they have the moment with Muncher.
Mm.
I think the moment she sits on the thing, she doesn't know it's a gunner seat, and it happens. And she's like, "Whoa, shit! This is a
With
fucking gunner
Gus.
seat." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's doing the thing, So I felt like the progression was okay with that,
Yeah.
but I almost feel like that was on purpose because later on when they rescue mom, her mom's in the
Mm.
back seat and she's like talking, she's filling them in and shit they already fucking know.
Uh-huh.
Phoebe just give me 1 second. She hits the gunner seat, flies out, shoots one of the dogs, and comes back in. I'm just like, all right, she's my fucking hero. I don't want to hear it. She's my fucking hero now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. That was really good stuff. So anyway, real quick, I want to mention that I get the whole Gozer thing again, but again, I felt like it was that's the thing, we're treading back on some of the the old thing, the keymaster, the
Yeah.
gatekeeper.
Yeah. Again, again,
It's
that's
like,
like the
okay,
gatekeeper.
you know,
Which I guess. I mean, it, I guess for this generation, like what else could it have been, right? It should have actually. Honestly, I'm with you. It should have been a new, the villain of the week or whatever, a new villain. It should have been not
I
necessarily
mean, you
going
could
back
have
to
you could
Ghoster,
have
but
used Gozer or you could have done someone else. Like it would have been like
Ghoster could have made an experience, but not necessarily be the the be all end all. But
correct, yeah. Or you could, I
it,
was thinking you can bring up like Evo, what the fuck was his name? Evo, the guy who
Evil,
was in the
yeah,
casket,
yeah,
who by the way was a wasted part. It happened
100%,
ridiculously quick. Yeah, but it could have been a story about him,
yes.
and then when you like you discover him and you do something by accident and he manifests and then he brings back Gozer. It's like, oh shit, Eddie. Not only do we do that and bring evil, but
But now we
his
got
purpose was to bring back Gozer, and now we have to deal with Gozer on top of that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That would have been something. That would have been a cool little twist. And I
yes.
get it. I'm trying to rewrite shit here that wasn't already in it, but I feel like that would have been more interesting.
It certainly would have raised the stakes a little bit more than what it ended up being. I mean, what it ended up being was, well, the whole dilapidated house and all that. It was not necessarily just the house where he decided to live in, but this is actually the closest location to the place,
To the mines, yeah.
the mega trap, yeah, the
Mhm.
super trap that was gonna contain this evil once and for all.
Dude, I have to say, man, I got a little misty eyed, bro. When I saw, because I knew I didn't know.
Mm.
I had a feeling that they
Mhm.
were going to do something like this, and I this is the part I was trying to mention in the non spoiler section where it was like I didn't want to see it. I
Right.
didn't want them to do it because I felt like it was going to be too cheap of an attempt.
Right.
And then it happens, and then he's there, and then not only he's there, he's helping his granddaughter, hold the proton. I'm talking about obviously Egon.
Yeah.
And then he's standing next to his boys, and it's his fucking boys who fucking let him down. But anyway, he's standing next to his boys, and they're looking at him just like, oh man, almost like I can't believe, that he's gone. And for the
Mhm.
record, Harold Ramis is gone too in real life. So
Mhm.
that could be in their eyes as they're doing that as well. And it shouldn't work, man. But god damn it, if it did not work,
It
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 fucking
did.
worked. Yeah.
It did, and then it's almost like the movie breaks the fourth wall when they actually when Egon disappears into the mist of air and like properly that he was actually I guess he's the one he's ascending. So obviously
His
even if
purpose,
there's
right?
no
Because
yeah there's
that's the whole thing. Yeah, his purpose was completed, right?
his
And I
purpose
think
was
that's the yeah.
completed. It's like he's getting his rest. You know whatever religion implication going
Yeah,
going
fill
up.
in
I
blank
mean
here. Yeah,
but then as as the mist dissipates and it just says the words for Harold,
yeah.
I thought that was the end. I thought that was when they were closing, right there. But no, the movie,
The movie
continued.
continued.
The
Yeah,
movie continued, but
yeah.
like you don't expect that, and you don't expect for it to suddenly like break the fourth wall like that. But it was like he was that was very touching, and yes, that was
Yeah.
actually the part where I got misty eyed. Also, it was like, okay, this
It
shouldn't
was
have
well
worked,
done.
but it totally
Yeah, I'm
worked.
glad that they didn't try to do a voice. I'm glad that they kept him
Yes, me too.
silent. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
feel like
me too.
that enhanced it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Because if they would have
absolutely.
tried to do a voice, and it would have been like, okay, no.
Yeah,
Um,
it would have been easy to tell. Okay, no, this is not.
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah, yeah, man, I was ready to not like that, and then it happened, and I not only did I like it, like I said, it kind of hit home.
yeah,
And I was like, oh wow, that was cool.
I
That was
loved
pretty
it.
cool. Yeah,
I really liked it. Yeah,
I did.
overall, I mean, my qualms aside, uh, like I said, the thing with the motivation or the reaction of the characters, I found them unbelievable.
Oh yeah, completely.
But and as a Ghostbusters movie, uh the lack of actual ghosts was very disturbing. Also, it's like, what are we doing here? I don't know if there is a plan or a hope or whatever of doing a sequel to this one, but if they were to ever do something like that, I see, which it doesn't. I don't know. It want to give the impression that it does because of the end,
Hmm.
but because it closes it closes the thing with Gozer, but it also
It
leaves
also
something
closes with
open
the
to.
main characters. Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it also closes with the main characters, but it almost feels like it's also left to interpretation whether there could be another Ghostbusters movie. The thing is, it obviously can't be this. It will have to be like, sure, I have no problem, bringing the kids or anything like that. Like, if that's what they want to pivot Ghostbusters, like, I'm okay with that. It just that there needs to be stakes here. That we need to have
Yeah, real stakes.
ghosts,
Yeah.
and I don't care if you go back to the old method of making them, because we don't want to. We don't want the because the ghost. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna talk about it again, but I have to. The ghosts in Ghostbusters 2016 were fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they were fucking awful. They look like the it looked like the CG that was used for those low budget, try to remember what the name of the movie is, but it's so crappy that who gives a shit. But it didn't look very
Low
cheap
budget
and low budget.
animation. Yeah, it wasn't yeah, I know what you mean. It's just
But yeah, but he had them at least. That was
yeah. Yeah.
it had its variation of ghosts. Here's I feel like
It was an absence of it.
barely any.
Mhm.
There were barely any.
Muncher
And
was the biggest one, and that might have to be the equivalent of Slimer.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And yeah.
yeah. So I definitely want to see more of that. Should there be another Ghostbusters movie, which I'm not 100% sure if they should or not, but I wouldn't mind it.
Agree. If it's gonna follow suit like this, I mean, I feel like it can do better. Just really let go and move forward.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to see the Twinkie in the glove compartment, but it's another one to see the Crunch Bar in the freaking outfit. It's like, what are we? This is every freaking thing from the other ones.
The
Like,
collection,
oh
the
my god,
spores and
the
fungus
spores, molds, and
collection.
fungus. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was like,
Seeing all
really?
that
So
is like
even when he was in exile, he still collected
he
that
still
shit.
collected.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There was
Yeah.
just too much. There was just way too much, man.
It was
And
almost an apology. It felt like an apology for a movie that they weren't
for
responsible.
2016, they're like,
Yes.
hey, we didn't know that was going to be like that. You know, Paul Feig led us down the wrong path, whatever. Real quick, Fabi, a thing that I wanted to mention before we close up here is Gozer was played by a few people, but I do want to mention a few people. Olivia Wilde played the actual Gozer, and the voice was played by The Expanse's very own Christian.
Really?
Yes, she played the voice of Gozer.
Of course she will play. She
Of course.
just have that voice. Of
She
course
does have that voice.
We're talking about the new one, right?
Yes, the new one. Yes,
Yeah,
the new one,
of course, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Fun fact. She
Oh
played
my
the
god,
voice of that.
that's she just have.
She just,
I
yeah,
mean,
she's
she
got a
sounds
notch
like
of cool. Another
she sounds
notch
like
of cool.
a fucking skeleton that has a smoking skeleton,
Yeah.
but it's still so awesome.
It
So
is.
the rasp is amazing. Like I love 100%.
It is. It just works for her.
100%.
In every way, everywhere she's at, it just works for her.
Yes.
So yeah, that, guys, is the review of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and of course our retrospective on the series leading up to it. Once again, guys, if this is your first time listening, please go. Thank you so much first for tuning in, but please go to goodgame.rock, join the conversation there, and of course, like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying, oh man, I had a line ready and it just slipped my mind. Now I can't say, now that I remember it, I can't say it because it's not gonna freaking matter. But
You fucked up.
I sure did, dude. I had a Ghostbusters line queued up,
Oh no!
and it just freaking slipped my mind. But
You know
it
what we
is
should
what it is.
do?
What did you do, Ray? What did you do? Anyway, that's not even the one. But anyway,
We should split up. We can do more damage that way.
oh man, that movie is chock full. The original is chock full of lines that are gold, bro. Gold. Yeah, man. I freaking love that. Anyway, Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
Oh, you screw me because I literally said it. Just
That was
so
your
you
line?
but now I'm just gonna do an advertisement and just continue watching The Expanse. And if you guys haven't watched it, you should start and let me know because I'll be curious about your impressions.
Your thoughts and impressions. Absolutely. All right, guys. In that case, we'll see you next week.
Happy on the ring, please. Hey.
The what?